and we are wide. Millions of followers, hear us out. Seen all over the world, there's no doubt. We are the future, shining bright. Join the raw feed every night. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary.
Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and this is a show unlike anything else you'll see on the internet tonight. Why? Because we're not just reporting the news, we are making it. Our coverage is forcing the powerful to respond, and tonight we're going even bigger. Before we dive in, let me be clear about something. What you're about to witness isn't just another news broadcast. This is day 23, baby, of Donald Trump's historic reclamation of the White House. And after our recent reports went viral and sent shockwaves through the establishment, the revelations we're about to share will shake them even more to the core. So, as you're watching this, you're probably already aware the mainstream media is doing everything in their power to prevent these stories from reaching the American people. That is why I'm asking you right now, take out your phone and text this live stream link to at least 3 people that you trust. Why? Because we need to bypass the algorithms that are trying to silence us. We're broadcasting live to millions worldwide on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and they can't stop us if we work together. And speaking of working together, the show is different because it's interactive. Throughout the broadcast, we'll be featuring your super chats and Rumble rants right here on the screen for the world to see. Your voice matters. In between segments, we will be reading your messages. And yes, if you're a Super Chat supporter, you get priority because you're helping keep independent journalism alive. So tonight's show is explosive. We're going to show you how President Trump is dismantling government overreach piece by piece. We'll reveal just how DOGE has exposed nearly $1 billion in wasteful education contracts and terminated them on the spot. You'll hear Blagojevich's first exclusive interview since Trump's pardon shook the swamp to the core. We'll expose the truth about Trump's border victory that has the cartels in panic mode, and our most explosive update yet. Chelsea Clinton's desperate attempt to respond to our viral coverage has backfired spectacularly, exposing even more than our original report. But here is the thing. We can only keep continuing this level of truth-telling with your support. The link to donate in the description below. Every dollar helps us fight back against the corporate media machine that wants to silence us. And for those who want to wear their support proudly, check out our collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Grab a Next News Network hat and wear it proudly. And tell the world you stand with real independent journalism. We've also launched our YouTube channel memberships. Each level comes with exclusive perks, special acknowledgement in the chat room, and behind-the-scenes access to the Next News team. The link to join is in the description. So buckle up, Patriots. Get ready to be part of this dynamic, interactive news experience anywhere. Share the stream. Follow us on all platforms and get ready for the truth bombs that will leave the establishment reeling. And remember, you are not just watching the news, you are part of a movement to take back our country one story at a time. The Raw Feed starts now. Let's welcome you to the show. Sure, you in the house. What's up? What's up? Good evening to you. We got Bill in the house. We got Queen Bee's Art Hive. We got Daryl. We've got General Rev Carnivore. We've got H Hot Wolves. We got Gina F. We got Heather in the chat as well. Heather Peterson, Val Anderson, Mrs. Mom 2x2, S. Evans 777 is finally here live, and we've been waiting for you. We got Alan Smith, Jay Edelson. We got June O'Donnell. We got Deslock 124, Texas Patriot Mom, Rebecca Betts, not sure is here. We got Alan Harmon, Mr. Darlene Carter, Parmas Dax. What's up, Parmas? We've got everybody in the house. Who else is here? We've got Joseph and Josie, and RZ is Charles. We've got Tom High Smith, Christ is King, amen. Tanya Mish, Riss Brad, There is no try. Where is that thing? I don't have it here. Rick Corley, Deborah Fox. We got the Texas Patriot Mom is the mouth from the South. Darlene, VG Nope, Val Anderson, Steve Sampson. What is up, Steve Sampson? Are you the Steve Sampson? Like the one that I met like number of times at church? Well, okay, maybe. Bullish on crypto, the Floridian, Susan, Ronald Mass deportation, Billy Boy, Valley of Tears. Everyone is in the house. What is up, folks? Let's get into the news tonight. Do we have any super chats to speak of? Not yet, but we will, I'm sure. Who's going to be the first one? Who is going to be the first one to drop a super chat before we go to Washington, D.C., into the belly of the beast? Yes, that is where we're going tomorrow. We will be live, the raw feed from Washington, D.C., going to get our press credentials. I'm literally looking at the email I just got from the White House. Got to fill out another form. Yeah, so that's what I got. U.S. citizen, social, sex, male or female. Only two on this White House form. State of residence, email, confirm, birth date, all the good stuff right here. And our first super chat from Melanie Cannon. What's up, Melanie? What is up, Steve Sampson? What are you saying, Steve? Are you the Steve Sampson? Where are you? I just saw your message. Steve Sampson. Oh, Tired Tummy. What's up from the UK? Good to see you. Steve Sampson. I just saw your message come through. No. Okay, you're not the same one. All right. Well, God bless you anyway. All right. Okay, where was that super chat? We got to put it on the screen for everyone. Two of them. Wait, two from Melanie Oakman. Let's go. And she's got, are there two Melanie Oakmans? One is giving us US $1.99, and another one's giving us $1.99 pounds sterling. All right, let's go. We got some news to get to. No more messing around on the raw feed. Let's get started. What you're about to see isn't just another story about presidential policy. It's about the systematic dismantling of the deep state apparatus that's been strangling American freedom for decades. President Trump, just day 23 of his return to power, has launched what might be the most aggressive campaign against government overreach in American history. He's ordered AG Bondi to review every federal gun regulation within 30 days. He's taking on Iran without starting a war, and he's using tariffs to rebuild American sovereignty. But the real story, the one they don't want you to know about, is even more stunning. And as President Trump wages war on government overreach, a parallel battle is being fought in the global financial arena. The deep state's control extends to our money, but there is a way to protect yourself. Look what's happening. Trump's moves against the bureaucratic power are sending shockwaves through the system. The establishment's terrified, and they are responding the only way they know how, by threatening our financial stability. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They understand that gold isn't just a commodity, it's a shield against government overreach. Visit nextnewsgold.com before the system retaliates, or call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Let's jump into the news right now. President Trump, Mike Engelman says, start looking into them. We are behind the 8 ball already. Donald Trump announced he will start looking into rogue federal judges.
Well, it seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that. Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges, because that's a very serious, I think it's a very serious violation. It seems hard.
And what, of course, he's talking about is these judges who are stepping up to try to block his executive action to oversee his own branch. So the judicial is stepping in and interfering with the executive branch, which is a violation of the separation of powers. President Trump is, of course, filing legal action against these judges, and now he might even go even further. And now we have this just from an hour ago. Libs of TikTok posting, Representative Anna Paulina Luna announces she will lead the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. Oh, it's about time. The 9/11 files, Jeffrey Epstein files, JFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, Dr. Martin Luther King, COVID-19, and even UFOs.
Oversight Task Force meant. With the stroke of a pen, he committed to declassifying the files concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A decision not just monumental, but pivotal. It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on declassification of federal secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files. This task force will be a beacon of bipartisanship. On the Republican side, Representatives Burchett, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Gill, and Mace will be joining me, although I'd like to note that I'm expanding this to the entire governing body and will be allowing certain members to waive on. Our first hearing is set for March. The date will be announced soon, and we've already initiated close to a dozen communications with various agencies, to include Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and the Secretary of State. This will no longer be a task force that makes bold promises only to fade into irrelevance or send strongly worded letters. This will be a relentless pursuit of truth and transparency, and we will not stop until the American people have the answers they deserve. We will cut through the bureaucracy, challenge the stonewalling, and ensure that the American people finally get the truth that they have been denied for too long. If we are to endure and thrive as a nation, we must restore trust through transparency. The American people must be trusted to think for themselves, to form their own judgments from the truth that they are entitled to know. We've been treated like children for too long and kept in the dark by those we elected to serve us. It is my solemn duty to begin mending this trust, to form a new relationship between the government and the governed. Let us embark on this journey together towards a government that does not serve, but one that enlightens. That does not just serve, but one that enlightens. Trust through transparency, that begins meant.
Oh, baby, buckle up. We're finally going to have some transparency in government. And now we've got this, speaking of transparency, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, he posted this: President Trump has been clear about America first, but also that America will lead the world and will empower our allies and partners and add to our capabilities. Buckle up.
Exercises, that partnerships, but we need to lead the world. There's no doubt. And President Trump has been clear about that. America first means we're taking care of America first, but part of America first is empowering allies and partners to be combat multipliers, to add to the capabilities that we have. I mean, that's foreign military sales, that's exercises, that's defense partnerships, but it's also reminding certain countries and certain regions of the world that America can't be the guarantor of everything forever in a world where we have to prioritize shifting to larger threats in certain moments. So you're going to see that kind of prioritization from us, which we believe will empower, invigorate, incentivize more burden sharing from allies who are beloved to us, who we support, who also need to be prepared to step up.
Oh, be prepared to step up, my friends. And speaking of stepping up, Google Maps is officially updated to Gulf of America. I can't believe this is happening. This is great. Oh, my goodness. I've been doing this for so long. We've been fighting this damn fight for so long. And finally, we are seeing an administration that listens to the people. And I mean, this is heads and tails better than the first administration. I mean, the first Trump administration, this administration is on fire. Here we have more from the Secretary of Defense on rebuilding our military.
I don't have any special interest. The second one is rebuild our military. Our defense industrial base, our acquisitions process.
Before we continue, I always get frustrated because it seems like every single time we have a Republican in the White House, they're always working to rebuild our military. Like, what is it with the Democrats that are constantly destroying our first line of defense. Well, of course, I mean, they hate us, so they hate America.
How we rapidly field new technologies, how we learn from conflicts around the globe, how we match what we fund to capabilities and effects. There's a lot of programs around here that we spend a lot of money on that when you actually war game it, don't have the impact you want them to. One of the benefits I have is I don't have any special interests. I don't have a background invested in any systems or services. I'm agnostic to that. It means I'm going to take a lot of arrows, and I'm prepared to do so. That's fine. We need the best systems in the hands of warfighters where they need it, to the COCOMs, to deter, send the signals that when that fight comes, we're ready to win and win decisively. That includes a Pentagon audit, which to the Marines out there, y'all got to figure it out. And we appreciate that, lean and mean. We are going to focus heavily to ensure that at a bare minimum, by the end of 4 years, the Pentagon passes a clean audit. The American taxpayers deserve that. They deserve to know where their $850 billion go.
And of course, he's referring to the fact that the Marines actually passed their audit, but the Pentagon could not. We got this 6 hours ago from Vivek Ramaswamy. The last 4 years, the largest influx of illegals in U.S. history, staggering inflation, foreign wars, national division, backdoor censorship that will make our founders shudder. We didn't vote for gradualism. We voted for sweeping change. That's exactly what Trump is delivering. He was quote tweeting Mario Nawfal, who had a clip from the Sean Ryan show when Vivek was on it. Trump works fast. How is that a bad thing? Listen.
I think the best allegation there, he definitely is moving at a faster pace than probably any president has in modern history or in our lifetimes. But I think generally if somebody was elected with a mandate and told you they were going to do certain things and then he goes in there and does them, and he does them quickly, I don't think that the fact of doing them quickly is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. And, the fact that I think the best allegation they're coming up with is that the pace is just too crazy. Well, when you had open borders and the largest influx of illegals in American history and a flailing economy and inflation we haven't seen in 50 years and foreign conflicts that didn't exist when Donald Trump left office that do now exist that need to be extinguished. Yeah, I do think that Fast and Furious is exactly what we need. And I am so far as impressed as I possibly could be. And I'm also somebody who, as you know, in my experience of running for president or course of our own conversations, even predating that, I'm not going to just read from the chapter and verse of Republican talking points. But I think if we're just speaking a hard truth right now, he's come out with a bang, and I want to see that continue for the next 4 years. He definitely is moving it.
I think it's a little bit more than a bang, Vivek. I think it's a nuclear explosion. We have more from the Secretary of Defense about restoring the warrior ethos, and will continue to attract young men and women. Buckle up.
And women who restoring the warrior ethos is critical. And I think we've seen that already in the recruiting numbers. I think we've seen an enthusiasm and excitement from young men and women who want to join the military actively because they are interested in being a part of the finest fighting force the world has to offer and not doing a lot of other things that serve oftentimes too often to divide or distract. It's about readiness. It's about staying focused. And I think you've seen that from a lot of the executive orders the president has issued that we have echoed. And there can be confusion about that. But from our perspective, why do you get rid of something like DEI? Because from our perspective, it's served a purpose of dividing the force as opposed to uniting the force. And this is something I've said quite publicly. And what I want to be is transparent with this building and everyone who serves here. Say the same thing in public that we say in private, which I hope you'll find from us. I think the single dumbest phrase in military history is our diversity is our strength. I think our strength is our unity. Our strength is our shared purpose, regardless of our background, regardless of how we grew up, regardless of our gender, regardless of our race. In this department, we will treat everyone equally. We will treat everyone with fairness. We will treat everyone with respect. And we will judge you as an individual by your merit and by your commitment to the team and the mission. That's how it has been. That's how it will be.
Seems pretty simple, actually, right? Just treat everyone equally. You don't need to divide everybody up into groups. And we've got this good news. George Beasy, 22 hours ago, the Senate just voted 52 to 46 to invoke cloture and activate Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation vote. Based on the vote, she is 100% confirmed. Any moment now, we'll have our new Director of Intelligence. Here is the moment. Tulsi Gabbard clears through U.S. Senate votes to advance to her full confirmation vote later this week. Every Republican voted in favor of advancing her nomination, and every Democrat voted against it.
The yeas are 52, the nays are 46. The motion is agreed to.
Motion to invoke cloture on the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii to be Director of National Intelligence. Oh, yes, we're not done yet. President Trump on funding the government.
Eliminate taxes on tips. The tough part is that if you don't want to cut entitlements and you do want to add to defense spending and you want to eliminate taxes on tips and you want to make the 2017 tax cuts permanent, that's a lot of money.
But we're going to take in tremendous amounts of money on tariffs. We're going to have tariffs. We're going to take in tremendous amounts of money.
And you think DOGE is going to make up some difference?
DOGE. Well, DOGE is going to make up a lot, but that's unrelated to tariffs. It's not fair that other countries have really taken advantage of us, and it's our leader's fault, but I'm a different leader. It's not fair that other countries have taken advantage of us for so many years, and now all of a sudden we're not allowed to have tariffs, but they've had tariffs for years. You know, they've done this to us for years, and we haven't. And I think reciprocal tariffs, I'll be talking about it. I think probably on Monday or Tuesday I'll have a whole big thing. We have a very sophisticated plan.
And President Trump, as you may have heard, has already implemented tariffs on steel. We've got this on Texas from Texas Gun Rights. Trump orders AG Bondi to review all Biden federal gun regulations within the next 30 days. Here is the official order, the plan of action. Within 30 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall examine all orders, regulations, guidance plans, international agreements, and other actions of executive departments and agencies to assess any ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment. Yeah, I think the Second Amendment's pretty damn clear. Shall not be infringed, and President Trump understands that, and AG Bondi is now on the case. Speaking of weapons, here's President Trump discussing Iran.
For that not happen. Everyone thinks Israel, with our help or our approval, will go in and bomb the hell out of them. I would prefer that not happen. I'd much rather see a deal with Iran where we can do a deal, supervised, check it, inspect it, and then blow it up, or just make sure that there's no more nuclear. That we just
A better deal than the Obama nuclear deal.
Well, that was the dumbest deal. By the way, that would have expired by now. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. It was a short-term deal. You can make a deal with just a few years on it. That deal would be expired by now. Think of it. And they would have a legal right to have a nuclear weapon. You cannot allow Iran, or just about anybody else, by the way, but especially Iran, because they are very militant. I mean, they're very, very militant. You can't allow them to have a nuclear weapon. But there's two ways of stopping them, with bombs or with a written piece of paper. And I'd much rather do a deal that's not going to hurt them. And I think they wanted to. I think that Iran is very concerned. I think that Iran is very frightened, to be honest with you, because their defense is pretty much gone. Maybe they're trying to get new defense as we speak, meaning air defense. But their defense is largely gone. They've had some very bad moments. The whole thing with the pagers was a disaster for them. The pagers, you know what I'm talking about. It was a horrible thing, but it was, it knocked out a lot of leadership like nobody's ever seen before. But I think Iran is very nervous. I think they're scared. I think Iran would love to make a deal, and I would love to make a deal with them without bombing them.
I want to make a deal without bombing them. And, of course, he references the pagers. I mean, really, that just shows you how third world these countries are. I mean, who carries a pager? I guess only people in the Middle East. Oh, my goodness. We have this. concerning the Middle East. Fox News, would the Palestinians have a right to return?
We'll build beautiful communities for the 1.9 million people. We'll build beautiful communities, safe communities. Could be 5, 6, could be 2, but we'll build safe communities a little bit away from where they are, where all of this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them, because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. You know, we give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
Billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. Donald Trump is going to make a deal. And speaking of deals, he's meeting with King Jordan Abdullah II, King of Jordan, to President Trump. This is what he said: I believe with all the challenges, finally someone can take us across the finish line.
It is, I think, our collective. Mr. President, I truly believe that with all the challenges that we have in the Middle East, that I finally see somebody that can take us across the finish line to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to all of us in the region. And it is, I think, our collective responsibility in the Middle East to continue to work with you, to support you, to achieve those lofty goals. So I'm very delighted to be here. And as you said, sir, we've got some very interesting discussions ahead.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, crossing the finish line. Here we have Chip Roy posting just 4 hours ago: the president is chief executive. He can absolutely freeze funding and cut waste. Rodents are running around some of these office buildings in D.C. They've been unoccupied for years, and the president will win this case. I love Chip Roy. I mean, you know, he's got some flaws, I know, on his whole DeSantis thing, but, you know, as long as he's on Team Trump right now, I think that's what matters. Let's go.
We think there's ways.
And fourth, I want to get your immediate thoughts.
Yeah, well, first of all, the president, of course, has the responsibility and, frankly, the ability to be able to freeze spending and review it for the betterment of the American taxpayer. But on that issue, the first one that you pointed out about these buyout programs, I think the judge was basically saying, oh, no, you can't do that as the president because Congress hasn't authorized that or hasn't said that he should do that. Well, hold on. The president, as the chief executive, is making an offer, like any chief executive of a company, to say, hey, we might need to cut back here. We think there's waste, so we're going to offer you a buyout. How on earth is that something that Congress would necessarily have to put their fingers in? And understand this: I was told yesterday by some friends of mine down at in the executive in the administration that they are finding rats, they are finding old files, they are finding phones that still have the pre-programmed numbers from when Trump was in there 4 years ago, because nobody's been there. You've got all these people that have been working at home, not doing a job, and this president is coming in and saying no more. The American people are with the president. These judges are acting like it's 1990 or 1970 and they can just decide things on high. They can't. The president's chief executive, he's in there to do a job. He's going to win this case, and regardless, he's going to make sure he continues to do what he needs to do to root out all of this corruption and remove these bureaucrats from interfering with the American people.
I mean,
yep, time to get back to work in Washington. No more of this remote garbage, this relic of the COVID tyranny. We've got this, too. President Trump responding to Maxine Waters tells her, all of her friends, tell Maxine and all of her friends that we're last in education. Excuse me.
At the Department.
I watched some of these horrible people like Maxine Waters, real sleaze, and I watched her screaming at the security guard or whoever he was. Actually, he was pretty cool.
At the Department of Education.
He was pretty cool standing in front of the Department of Education. She's only looking for trouble. She's not looking to help people learn. Look, tell Maxine and all of her friends that we're last in education. Out of 40 states, we're last. We're number 40. But we're number 1 in cost per pupil. That's all you have to know. We have to make a change. I want to send education back to the states. I watched some of
Bring
these...
it back to the states where it belongs. Check this out. Benny Johnson posting this 7 hours ago. Now, this is a true Secretary of Defense, leading by example. So refreshing. Can you even remember when the last time the military was in such great hands? Look at him putting up that weight out there in the streets with the troops. I mean, really? Like, have you ever seen a Secretary of Defense actually doing this kind of stuff? No, they just they hide behind COVID masks and the like. Anyway, we've got more here. Here is President Trump. Patrick Bet-David posting this 18 hours ago. Are you sick of paper straws? Will this executive order improve the quality of dinners at restaurants? Donald Trump is making dinner great again.
Environmental impact. Next, this is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes, and we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes. Sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
I mean, the fact that we have to sign an executive order.
I think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is where we're at. We actually have to have executive orders to get back to plastic straws because of people are afraid of turtles dying. Okay, we're not done yet. 19 hours ago, the Trump administration has dropped federal charges against New York Mayor Eric Adams. And we have Chris Cuomo. I mean, I still can't believe I'm playing clips from Chris Cuomo. But here we are, man. This is a new era.
Prejudice, which is Trump's acting deputy attorney general. This is really unusual, okay? The DOJ just asked the Southern District of New York, which is supposed to be the crown jewel of the satellite attorneys general offices in the country, to dismiss the case against New York's mayor without prejudice, which is essentially directing them to say, you screwed this case up. You did a bad job, or you did the right job for the wrong reasons, and now you're going to admit it. You are directed, as authorized by the Attorney General, to dismiss the pending charges in the United States v. Adams, and the matter shall be reviewed by the confirmed U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York following the November 2025 mayoral election, based on consideration of all relevant factors. The Justice Department has reached this conclusion without assessing the strength of the evidence or the legal theories on which the case is based, which are issues on which we defer to the U.S. Attorney's Office at this time. So here's what they just said. You're going to dismiss it because we believe you did it the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. And after the mayoral election, assuming Adams runs and whether he wins or loses, then the Attorney General and the deputy one, who's in the Southern District at that time, will review the case at that time. Never heard of anything like this before. It's a huge black eye for the Southern District. Not that anybody really cares. What does it mean for Adams, legally and politically? Former New York City prosecutor Paul Callan and News Nation correspondent at large Geraldo Rivera. Let's do.
Yeah, wow. President Trump responding to Elizabeth Warren's comments about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
By freezing it. Mr. President, regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, have said that by freezing it, it's giving big banks and giant corporations the green light to scam families.
Pocahontas. Pocahontas is the faker. That was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people. And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has. She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people. and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas that say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman, despite her phony beer commercial. We did the right thing. That was a very important thing to get rid of. And it was also a waste. I mean, number one, it was a bad group of people running it, but it was also a waste. If you looked at when she really ran it, wow, that was a vicious group of people. They really destroyed a lot of people.
And you can confirm it's your goal is to have it totally eliminated, the agency?
Say, yeah, because we're trying to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse.
I love that he uses that term, waste, fraud, and abuse. See, those are the buzzwords that they're constantly using on the left and the right when they try to justify, or they go out in public and they make these statements. We got to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Okay, well, here's what President Trump's doing. How can you argue against that? But then they go out and have these massive protests in front of the Department of Education or USAID or wherever, and they have these meltdowns. Here we have Speaker Mike Johnson. He is agreeing with J.D. Vance. This is from George Beasley tweets 6 hours ago that crooked judges are illegally interfering with the executive branch's authority. This is what I'm saying.
To not fund in the interim, I will say I agree wholeheartedly with Vice President J.D. Vance, my friend, because he's right. What they're doing in the executive branch, I've been asked so many times, aren't you uncomfortable with this? No, I'm not, because when Congress, for example, appropriates dollars for the executive branch to use, we build in, not only in the spirit of the law, but in the letter of the law, a broad amount of discretion for how that is used. There is a presupposition in America that the commander-in-chief is going to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars, that the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, is going to command those within his branch of government to do the right thing by the people, to be accountable, to not fund drag shows in Middle Eastern countries or South America, to not waste our taxpayer dollars. And that's what has been uncovered. And that's why we and the people are applauding what's happening right now in the new administration, because they've taken that seriously. And they're doing it. The forensic audits, effectively, that DOGE and Elon Musk are leading. In the interim, I will say
Bring it. Bring it all. Forensic audits, audit every single one of them. Here is President Trump saying Ukraine, 5 hours ago, has agreed to repay the aid by giving the United States $500 billion in rare earth minerals. What?
Oil and gas and
Ukraine, though, you think you can get a deal? Do you keep sending American weapons until you do?
No, what I'm saying is the following. They have tremendously valuable land in terms of rare earth, in terms of oil and gas, in terms of other things. I want to have our money secured because we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. And, they may make a deal, they may not make a deal, they may be Russian someday, or they may not be Russian someday, but we're going to have all this money in there. And I say, I want it back. And I told them that I want the equivalent, like $500 billion worth of rare earth. And they've essentially agreed to do that. So at least we don't feel stupid. Otherwise, we're stupid. I said to them, we have to get something. We can't continue to pay this money.
Ukraine, though.
Oh, no. We are not going to continue to fund that disaster over there. Here's the moment when President Trump was greeting King Abdullah II of Jordan at the White House. I will be there in just like 48 hours. I'm really excited to go. Get my press credentials. We're getting it all set up right now. I mean, this is historic, just for all the work we've been doing here for so long. But this one here, Trump derangement syndrome, apparently is quite strong with this person.
That's the other reason why we didn't win, because the fucking Trump was at the goddamn game. God damn it! Trump should not have been at our fucking game.
Oh, yeah, they're upset over there. They blame President Trump for the loss in the Super Bowl. Here we have more. Here's another angle of President Trump welcoming the King of Jordan and Crown Prince of Jordan to the White House. History being made every moment of the day. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of history, check this out. Check this out. My goodness, finally. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, 21 hours ago. Fort Bragg is back, baby.
to change the name. There it is. Pursuant to the authority of the Secretary of Defense, Title 10, United States Code, Section 113, I direct the Army to change the name of Fort Liberty, North Carolina to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's right, Bragg is back.
Oh, man, there's going to be a lot of very happy people. My goodness. What is this from Elon Musk 17 hours ago? President Trump has choice words. Okay, he called her Pocahontas. He talked about her just basically setting up an organization to destroy people. And then we have this Dov Hickend. President Trump has issued an ultimatum to Hamas.
That the amazing. Donald Trump has just issued an ultimatum to the barbarians of Hamas that the hostages, all of them, must be released by this Saturday at 12 o'clock, or all hell will break loose. And the Israeli military will do what it needs to do, and that is to destroy Hamas. Amazing, our president, who gets it, who understands the animals, the barbarians of Hamas.
All right, we got more to get at here. So much is happening. Scott Jennings ends the careers of every Democrat on the CNN panel, writes Paul Cibula, by nailing the issue about activist judges illegally interfering with the Trump presidency. I love this. I love this guy, man. He goes in the lion's den every single day on that channel.
And that the court cannot. I get it. You want individual federal judges who hate Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
To tie him up for 4 years.
No, I don't.
If you want a big
Not
policy questions decided, let the Supreme Court do it. But in the interim, the executive has to be allowed to govern.
Am I wrong about that?
Well, you're supposed to comply, but Scott's absolutely right in that the court cannot say you have to spend these dollars today. So as a governor, I dealt with this. We got things challenged in state court and federal court. It's all judge shopped, by the way. Judges don't randomly get these cases. There's a reason that these cases are filed in Boston, the Boston court, or a certain district, Rhode Island, because they know they're going to get a judge.
You raise the right point. Should the president, the singular president, should he have to share the presidency with 300 district court judges? No, absolutely not.
But the point, though, you made a really good point that there have been judges that shut down some of President Biden's executive actions, and they understand. The Biden administration understood the checks and balances.
The Supreme Court tried to stop me, but they never will.
But not in the way that Donald Trump is.
Who said that?
In the way that
Joe Biden.
Yeah,
Joe
but
Donald Trump
Scott, he actually didn't ignore it.
He did.
Right.
They continued to plow forward with student
aid.
How much did they spend?
Let me set the record up.
He actually got deep into
I hated the student loan forgiveness policy.
What did he say out loud?
I thought it was a ridiculous policy. I thought it was unconstitutional. I predicted it would get struck down. It did get struck down, and I applauded. He did not ignore it, though. He went and tried under a different law.
So he ignored it.
You're allowed. No, that's not ignoring it.
That's
not ignoring it. He's trying to do it. He's trying to do it. But let me just understand where you stand. If a district court judge rules in a way that the president dislikes, should the president listen or should the president defy?
If a district court judge tries to usurp the authority of the chief executive of this country, he should absolutely defy it. There's a difference between broad policy decisions and discrete disputes between parties. That's the difference. If I want a policy decided, I'll take it to the Supreme Court.
But what about checks and balances?
So you're saying that a judge should decide how and when money is spent
a judge is saying,
for years, and not the president of the United States?
Let me explain
You're a governor,
a little bit more. Let me explain it a little bit more slowly. A judge is saying,
you don't have to talk to me like that.
Congress.
Wow. Let me talk to you slowly. Yeah.
Position on this, and you have an opinion. We can disagree.
Yeah, but I'm saying you listen to me because you're not listening and you're making claims that are not connected to the facts. The judge is saying
maybe you are.
Congress appropriated a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
We need to litigate this. Okay. While we litigate this, we're going to put a hold on the actions that you took that might be unconstitutional.
So while we litigate this, I'm a judge and I'm in charge of the executive branch, and you're not. Forget it. I totally disagree.
You just can't compel the executive branch to spend the dollars. You can't do that. They can't say we're going to start. The judges are going to start writing the checks. They have every right to hold that.
No matter who the president is, the duly elected chief executive of this country, they should not be sharing the broad plenary powers of the presidency with 300 individual district court judges. That is not what the people want.
That is a great position to take when you are in power.
Yeah,
wow, that's the debate happening right now. We have more Elon Musk. posting this. Vance judges, this is from CNN.
A prosecutor, if a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general and how to use her discretion as a prosecutor, that's also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. The word legitimate is...
So I want to bring this up because Elon Musk just quote tweeted this.
Doing a lot of work here, but we do know that judges do get to say whether the executive is complying with the law or not.
Yeah, well, I believe that he is. And then we have this, why the West is turning right. People are tired of wokeism.
Of America, to Reform UK being the most popular party in Britain, to the AfD winning seats in Germany, to Geert Wilders winning in the Netherlands, and to Rassemblement National becoming the most popular movement in France. Why is this all happening? Well, the answer is blatantly fucking obvious. And before I explain, for the sake of accuracy, yes, some genuinely are far right, others aren't. Reform is not far right, Trump is not far right, the Sweden Democrats are not far right. There's two major problems in Western society at the moment, and one of these we've been allowed to speak about, the other we haven't. So let's start with what we're allowed to speak about. Economically, the citizens of the West have been let down by their governments with varying degrees depending on the country that they're in. But generally, their cost of living has gone up. Their property markets are fucked. They pay too much tax for what they earn. Their wage growth isn't good enough. And inequality has become rampant in our societies.
So wokeism is dying slowly across the world. More wins to report. Google Calendar will no longer include Pride Month. That is according to CNBC. Oh, and there's more, friends. We have more. Start looking into them. Let's see here. This is from Jim Ferguson. Trump to pardon Edward Snowden. The deep state's nightmare begins, is happening. President Trump is preparing to issue a full and unconditional pardon for Edward Snowden. The man who sacrificed everything to expose the deep state's crimes is finally getting justice, and the corrupt establishment's in panic mode. This is not about Snowden. This is about tearing down the surveillance state built to control you. He's the hero who exposed their spy machine. He revealed the NSA's illegal mass surveillance of every American. Your phone calls, emails, private messages monitored, stored, and weaponized against you. Big tech, Google, Apple, Facebook acted as deep state collaborators, feeding data straight into government hands. The deep state's worst fear, Trump and Snowden together. Holy cow. This is a massive tweet. I'm going to go ahead and repost it because it is, I mean, if he pulls this off, he pardons Snowden, that's game-changing. And speaking of game-changing, we have more from Anna Paulina Luna on the JFK files.
Our first investigation will be announced, but it's going to be covering on a thorough investigation into the John F. Kennedy assassination. And I can tell you, based on what I've been seeing so far, the initial hearing that was actually held here in Congress was actually faulty in the single bullet theory. I believe that there were two shooters, and we should be finding more information as we are able to gain access into the SCIF, hopefully before the files are actually released to the public.
Holy cow, baby. It is happening. She just said there were two shooters. Okay. She just said that. That was from Darren McBreen, media rival. He posted that. President Trump now also imposing a 25% tariff on aluminum imports.
To 25. So with respect to aluminum, similarly to steel, since 2018, a large number of exceptions and exemptions have been added into the law. This eliminates all of those and also increases the ad valorem tariff rate from 10 to 25%.
Mostly the last part is the most important, right? Would you say?
Totally.
So basically, this is aluminum, the same thing, no exceptions, no nothing. And it's going to bring our aluminum business back and may go higher. I mean, frankly, it may go higher. And we're going to also be talking about we're going to be talking about things over the next 3 weeks that I think will be amazing for our country, amazing for our jobs, and will bring us to a new level of prosperity. And I think, frankly, our allies and our enemies all over the world expected this. They really expected it for years. They really expected it sometime during the Biden administration, but they didn't do anything. As you know, I put put tariffs on China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars with those tariffs, and Biden wasn't able to get them out. He tried to, but it was too much money. He couldn't do it. And we're going to be doing a very concise and, very, it's going to be good. And I don't think if done properly, and we're going to try and do that, we don't want it to hurt other countries, but they've been taking advantage of us for years and years and years. And they've charged us tariffs. Most of them have charged us, almost everyone, I would say, almost without exception. Definitely. They've charged us and we haven't charged them. And it's time to be reciprocal. So you'll be hearing that word a lot, reciprocal. If they charge us, we charge them. If they're at 25, we're at 25. If they're at 10, we're at 10. And if they're much higher than 25, that's where we are too. So that's having to do with everything. That's not just steel and aluminum. But we'll be discussing that over the next couple of weeks. But we will be looking at chips, and we will be looking at cars, and we're going to be looking at pharmaceuticals,
and we're going to be looking at everything. And speaking of making America great again, the Associated Press says they were blocked from Tuesday's Oval Office event after they refused to abide by President Trump's order renaming the Gulf of Mexico. Associated Press issued a statement on Tuesday from executive editor Julie Pace. As a global news organization, the Associated Press informs billions of people around the world every day with factual, nonpartisan journalism. Today, we were informed by the White House that if AP did not align its editorial standards with President Donald Trump's executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America, AP would be barred from accessing an event in the Oval Office. This afternoon, AP's reporter was blocked from attending an executive order signing. Oh! And then they said, it's alarming that the Trump administration would punish the AP for its independent journalism. Are you serious? Independent journalism from the AP? And then they say, limiting our access to the Oval Office based on the content of AP's speech is not only severely impeding the public's access to independent news, it plainly violates the First Amendment. Well, the AP isn't exactly independent. Oh, and speaking of swamp rats, Adam Schiff is freaking out over Tulsi Gabbard. He just posted 7 hours ago, it's hard to imagine someone more disqualified. Oh, and he went on MSNBC with Rachel Maddow.
Committee. You spoke tonight on the Senate floor in opposition to her confirmation. You called it dangerous and a 5-alarm fire. What do you think the American people should know about her as a nominee as we're heading toward that final vote tomorrow? Well, first, I think it's important, as with all these nominees, to just level set. Normally, if you're talking about someone who's going to head an agency, let alone in this case, all of the intelligence agencies, you would expect a nominee to have some experience, maybe having worked for an intelligence agency, maybe having led an intelligence agency, or even at a minimum served on a relevant committee like the Intelligence Committee in Congress. Tulsi Gabbard has none of that experience, zero, nada, zilcho. That would normally, in a normal world, be disqualifying. But she goes far beyond that. She has echoed Kremlin talking points about the origin of the war against Ukraine. She's pushed out Russian propaganda about U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. One of the pretexts that Russia wanted to use for its invasion.
Russian propaganda, Russian propaganda. Yeah, I remember when the Washington Times called us Russian propagandists back in 2016. Yeah.
To the point where RT, Russia Today, this propaganda outfit, is praising her to the degree that advisors close to Putin refer to her as our girl.
Oh, my goodness. This guy just, I still can't believe he's not behind bars, but he's got friends in high places, right? He did get that pardon. I'm not going to give this guy any more airtime than he deserves. Any time that he should be spent behind bars. We have so much happening in this country. It is only day 23 of Donald Trump's return to the White House, and America is getting greater by the minute. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And let's just keep this party going, shall we? I think we shall. All right. So what we've witnessed today is nothing short of revolutionary. President Trump isn't just making policy changes. He's fundamentally restructuring how government interfaces with American citizens. From gun rights to foreign policy, from tariffs to executive authority, this is a comprehensive assault on the bureaucratic machine that's been suffocating American freedom for generations. The establishment's response? Panic. Pure, unbridled panic, because they know this is not just about policy, it's about power, their power. And for the first time in modern history, they're losing it. But here is the question that should keep you up at night. If Trump can accomplish this much in just 23 days, what's stopping the deep state from attempting something unprecedented to halt his momentum? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't miss out on our exclusive Mag Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wear your patriotism proudly. All right, folks. All right. We've got so much more here. We got some super chats to speak of, and let's check in. Look at this. Look at this shot from the White House. This is right now. This is the White House as you see. Look at it. It is like snowing like crazy, but that's where the president is getting the work done. That's a live shot as it's happening. Okay, so we've got, $30.94 in super chats. H. Jess Bryan. Ann Rocks, love you, Gary, $9.99. Robert Kennedy, why did they add Jerry Atrikunit in Gitmo? I don't know what that means, but that's $4.99. Thank you. Robert Rose, Chili Clothed, Ohio in the house. What's up, Robert Rose? Thank you for that. Tired Mummy, dropping 2 pounds sterling. When Elon Musk is done in the USA, can he come sort out the UK? Maybe he will. But I think, didn't they have like an arrest warrant for him out there for like hate speech, or because X allows people to speak freely? Useful Idiot, dropping $2. Thank you. When will the JFK files be released to the public? I believe that's going to happen. He signed the executive order, and they have 15 days to figure it out, and then 30 days to release it. So that's what they're working on right now. And that's what Anna Paulina Luna, I believe, she has been now tasked with that position, that job. Useless Idiot, $5, says, we need a big-name senator to be perp walked. That's what's needed. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Okay, checking in on the main chat. Where are we at, guys? We are waiting on ice, then snow. Oh, boy. And then ice again. Standard Hotel has something to tell about Adam. Are you saying the show displeases you, Cindy Rose? My 10-pound Shih Tzu can knock over Schiff. Brain steam coming out of the White House. Nice. Nice. What's up, Portugal? Good to see you here. How do I do a super chat? Well, take a look at the little chat bar next to it. And I think, what is it, like a $sign or something like that? You press. It's right next to where you just typed in your chat. It's, I believe, another little button there. Maybe you guys can help them out. I'm an honorary deplorable from the UK. Carol, what's up, Carol? Good to see you here. Okay, we got so much more news to get to. We are not done yet. Let's get into it, folks. Imagine, sorry, false start. Imagine being paid $1.5 million to watch people sort mail. Not deliver mail, not process mail, just watch it. Sound absurd? Well, that's exactly what your Department of Education was paying for until today. DOGE investigators have uncovered what can only be described as a festival of waste in our education system, with nearly $1 billion in questionable contracts terminated in a single day. But here's the real story. This is not just about wasteful spending. It's about a systematic effort to use your tax dollars to fund what appears to be a massive ideological operation. And while DOGE exposes how the education system ages poorly, let's talk about aging not aging at all. Just as they're finding bloated, inefficient programs draining taxpayer resources, I found that most anti-aging products are draining your wallet without results. That's why I trust this multi-collagen formula. Think about it. DOGE terminated 89 wasteful contracts today, but you only need one effective solution for looking younger. Visit healthwithgary.com and get 51% off. Unlike those wasteful government programs, this is one investment that actually delivers results. All right, folks, what is going on in D.C.? Holy cow, the Oval Office is erupting. Elon Musk just showed up. Donald Trump Jr. posting, OMG, it's so bad what's happening to our country and your money. Musk says there are over 150 years old. There's people over 150 years old collecting Social Security. Over 150 years old? Wow.
There's crazy things like, just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. That's a case where, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous. One of the two.
Oh, boy, it's not over yet. He said, talking about $50 million worth of condoms being sent to Mozambique.
Fact check this.
Serious money.
Mr. Musk, you said on X that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact check this, apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it. But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
Yeah, exactly. Why are we sending $50 million worth of condoms anywhere? Oh, you got the country wrong. Will you correct your statement? Yeah, I'll correct my statement. Sometimes I get things wrong. But we shouldn't be sending 50 million. How many condoms is that? Oh, my goodness. Elon Musk, check this out, 46 minutes ago. Elon Musk says there's a literal limestone mine where they store all the U.S. government's retirement paperwork. It was built in 1950, and they need to go up and down every time they want to retire someone from federal government. Are you serious? What?
A great anecdote. One of the things is we are trying to sort of right-size the federal bureaucracy, just make sure that this, obviously there needs to be a lot of people working for the federal government, but not as many as currently. So we're saying, let's, if people can retire, with full benefits and everything, that would be good. They can retire, get their retirement payments, everything. And then we were told, this is actually, I think, a great anecdote, because we were told the most number of people that could retire possibly in a month is 10,000. We're like, well, why is that? Well, because all the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And I'm like, what do you mean a mine? Yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork. And you look at a picture of this mine. We'll post some pictures afterwards. And this mine looks like something out of the 50s because it was started in 1955. So it looks like it's like a time warp. And then the speed, the limiting factor is the speed at which the mine shaft elevator can move determines how many people can retire from the federal government. And the elevator breaks down sometimes, and then nobody can retire. Doesn't that sound crazy? There's like 1,000 people that work on this. So I think if we take those people and say, you know what, instead of working in a mine shaft carrying manila envelopes to, boxes in a mine shaft. You could do practically anything else, and you would add to the goods and services of the United States in a more useful way.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're living in the craziest times. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Yeah. A limestone mine shaft. Holy cow. Yeah. Oh, and we got this. Elon Musk, otherwise known as Harry Balls, to be the first to land Harry Balls on Mars. Yeah, he changed his name on X. Here's Enememes, one of our favorite follows on X, posting the Harry Balls landing on Mars. Of course, this is a graphical artist interpretation, otherwise known as AI. But this is not AI. This is actually, this was Elon Musk's account. Harry Balls. Circumcisions at a discount, now 69% off. Yeah, okay. This guy's hilarious. Elon Musk, we have more. Announced in the Oval Office, the DOGE is investigating federal employees with high net worth despite low pay. Many corrupt feds are sweating right now, including Fauci's cronies. This is from Nick Sortor. This is a photograph of Elon there. Okay, this is all happening just within the last hour. Elon Musk, if the bureaucracy is in charge, then what meaning does democracy actually have?
And so at a high level, if you say what is the goal of DOGE, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, are we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, we would have to, if you sorry. So I tell you, gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy. This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you asked the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense. But if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
Wow. We are living in amazing times. The world's richest man standing in the Oval Office, assisting President Trump on getting this country back on track. Here he is, smacking down a reporter over claims he's doing a hostile takeover of government.
The Senate. Your
detractors, Mr. Musk.
What?
Including a lot of Democrats.
I have detractors?
You do, sir.
I don't believe it.
Say that you're orchestrating a hostile takeover of government and doing it in a non-transparent way. What's your response to that criticism?
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public. The public voted. We have a majority of the public voting for President Trump. We've won the House, we won the Senate. The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what the people are going to get. They're going to.
Yeah, and we're getting it. And and the left is melting down. The deep state is melting down. The entrenched bureaucrats are melting down. We have a mandate from the people. And that's what he is executing. It's no secret. I mean, we covered the entire campaign. Okay, we were talking about DOGE before President Trump was even elected. Okay, they were talking about it on the campaign trail at MAGA rally after MAGA rally that Elon Musk would show up at. So it's not a secret. Nobody should be surprised by any of this. And then we have this. We found this. Here's video of Maxine Waters in her natural environment. Yes, this is just in. It was just leaked. Somebody just sent us this video. Of course, it's an AI-generated video of Maxine Waters from Enememes. Yes, making another. Oh my goodness, how creepy is this? Oh my goodness, yeah, but that pretty much sums it up. Maxine Waters, because she can't handle it that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are cleaning house in Washington, D.C. Yes, the swamp is up in arms. President Trump also announcing that FEMA is under investigation and should be terminated. FEMA spent tens of millions of dollars in Democrat areas disobeying orders with the left, but left the people of North Carolina high and dry. It's now under review and investigation. The Biden-run FEMA has been a disaster. FEMA should be terminated. FEMA should be terminated. It's been slow and totally ineffective. Individual states should handle storms, etc. as they come. Big savings, far more efficient. Oh, and speaking of people losing their mind, we have a Democrat Representative Maxine Dexter.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to, I don't swear in public very well, but we have to fuck Trump. Please don't tell my children that I just did that.
Well, guess what? Now you're internet famous, honey. I don't even know who you are, but I personally don't believe that Donald Trump would partake in such an action. And speaking of hairy balls, CNN was forced to report. This is the most epic troll in American history.
Democracy disruptor-in-chief Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Hairy Balls, tweeted this morning, "Democracy in America is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge." And as for the commander-in-chief, disruptor-in-chief,
can we hear her say that again?
Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Hairy Balls.
Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, then we got this. President Trump confirming his goal is to abolish the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Mr. President, regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, have said that by freezing it, it's giving big banks and giant corporations the green light to scam families.
Pocahontas is the faker. That was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people. And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has. She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people, and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas that say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman, despite her phony beer commercial. We did the right thing. That was a very important thing to get rid of.
Remember the phony beer commercial where she's like sipping a beer when she's on the campaign trail in her kitchen? Oh, man. Okay, we are not done yet. All this stuff is just breaking as we're going live. Okay, speaking of the swamp creatures, here's Maxine Waters in her real element. This is real now. Freaking out about Elon Musk. Oh, my. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Listen to what she says.
We're doing. Wow. Look at this crowd. Elon Musk, where are you? Bring your ass over here so you can see who's here and what we're doing. We're not afraid of you. We know that you are the co-president now of the United States of America. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow very closely what he's doing and how he has done it. First of all, we're here at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What is it? This is so important. Prior to this being organized in the Dodd-Frank reforms, consumers didn't have any place to really file complaints. They didn't have anywhere to go when the biggest banks in America was ripping them off. The student loans were being undermined. They didn't have any place to go. Why does Elon Musk want to get rid of all of this? Because he's a thief. He's a gangster. He brings his billionaire friends along with him because they think that they can take over this country. And Trump has said, you give me enough money, you can have it.
Yeah, sure. James Brown called. He wants his wig back. And then we've got, oh my goodness, we haven't even got to the point yet. Holy cow. Here we have Caroline Leavitt doubling down even more. This was 20 hours ago. George Beasley, President Trump and Elon Musk and our entire administration are going to continue to go line by line. Yeah, baby,
and what do
let's
we
go.
act? President Trump and Elon Musk and our entire administration are going to continue to go line by line and treat this federal government like a business. Money in, money out. And what do we actually need to spend money on to advance America's interests? That is our goal here. That's all that's happening. Anything else is fear-mongering by the left because they don't have a real message and they're deranged. There's no other way to put it.
Deranged, fear-mongering, that's what we get from the left. Here we have this, the Jackson Report 16 hours ago. New Start 2024 on X, Camus. USAID has funneled $4 billion to Gavi, connected to Bill Gates, plus another $800 million, while the World Health Organization received $700 million. Trump's funding freeze sends Gates into a media frenzy, claiming millions could die. Yeah, he said that on The View. And here we have, oh boy, oh, whoa. Jail time? Oh, please make it so. Eric Trump talks jail for USAID reckless spending. He's saying what all of us are thinking. DOGE must follow the money trail and find out who, what, when, where, and why for all questionable spending, including, well, let's listen.
Jail for some. Honestly, I'm a business guy. I understand this world very, very well. I want them to follow that money, right? Because it's more than, again, the shrimp dancing on the treadmill. It's more than the $50 million for the condoms to Gaza. I want them to follow those purchase orders and actually see if any of those products actually got delivered, right? People need to go to jail for some of this reckless spending. It's insane. When you, honestly, I'm a business guy.
Oh, yeah, baby, let's go. Send them all to jail. Do not pass go. And do not collect $200. Okay, let's see. We've got some more. This is from Laura Ingraham, and she's quoting Senator Mike Lee talking about these judges who are trying to block Trump.
Spending. Judge John J. McConnell handed it down after 22 blue states just were up in arms that funding hadn't been restored. Of course, they went for the sympathy play, citing HIV services in the Congo and a public health grant to Namibia. Now, McConnell had ruled previously that the Trump team had overstepped its executive authority by halting the monies. But if one judge, is going to have the power to stop the Trump cleanup crew in its tracks, don't you think we should know a little bit more about him?
You know, first of all, why are they freaking out? I thought this was just like a 90-day pause. Isn't that what this was really about? We're going to pause this, we're going to review stuff for 90 days, and then we're going to cut the fat. And now you got judges freaking out. So who is this judge?
And yeah, it's as bad as you would imagine. McConnell once served as treasurer of the Rhode Island Democratic State Committee, and he donated more than $100K to liberal Democrats, including to Biden, to Hillary, to the DNC, and a really hefty chunk of cash to the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee. The list goes on and on. So again, this is an unbiased jurist. This is someone who has the power, can keep scrolling, guys, have the power to do what? To issue a nationwide injunction and stop a duly elected president from doing.
Okay, so where is Senator Mike Lee? Let's listen.
Having lost in the court of public opinion, having lost elections, they're now going to try their hand at litigating and at picking off a few liberal one-off judges here and there in order to slow the process down. But make no mistake, Laura, we're all going to win. The right side of this is going to prevail. This is just a matter of delay, but we need to keep this delay as brief as possible.
Well, the other issue here, I think, for a lot of Americans, are very confused about how a single district court judge in a forum like the First Circuit, which covers a lot of these New England states, can actually grind a president's agenda to a halt. And who ultimately would put an end to this? Would the Supreme Court ultimately rule on this? Unlikely would probably get a law, be able to get a law through Congress, I don't know, ending these national injunctions. But this has got to stop. This is insanity.
Look, one would hope, Laura, when these orders first started coming out a few days ago, I immediately commented on X on my base Mike Lee account that it's probably a moment like this when you go and you seek an extraordinary writ of mandamus. This is a way of stopping abusive action by a district judge midstream. Now, the Court of Appeals could do that. If necessary, they could seek what's called certiorari before judgment to get the whole case expedited in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. And I hope and expect that Pam Bondi and her team of lawyers at the Department of Justice will consider all these options, because these judges are out of line. They don't have the authority to go in and commandeer the presidency and undo the election of November 2024.
The people have spoken, and we want answers. 4 FEMA employees, check this out. 4 FEMA employees who sent $59 million to luxury hotels. Remember that report we did? They have now been fired. This is according to DHS, Fox reporting.
For hotels for migrants in New York City, we have not announced it yet. So we have it first. There's going to be firings. The names are going to be out. And let's bring in New York Congressman Mike Lower. Congressman, your thought about that move?
Well, it's long overdue, frankly. These funds have been misappropriated going back to the Biden administration. And New York City, a sanctuary city, has been wasting billions of dollars of taxpayer money, billions with a B, to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants, including criminal aliens that are here illegally. And so, I applaud, frankly, DHS for taking action to stop these payments under President Trump's leadership, because we have incentivized cities like New York and states like New York, a sanctuary state, to allow this to continue. And
well, it's not going to continue anymore. Holy cow, we have more. Here is, check this out. Representative Kwesi Mfume calls for a street fight to stop Trump.
Fight
This will be a congressional fight, a constitutional fight, a legal fight, and on days like this, a street fight. Yes, we will stand. This will be a...
Yeah, until they start burning buildings down. Democrats, this is Proud Elephant 8 hours ago, insane. Democrats say they are planning on impeaching Elon Musk. Oh, man. And this is Jamie Ratskin
does not like the idea that a guy who would not even be constitutionally eligible to run for president is acting as president, a guy who, if he were president, would be impeached immediately because he's taking billions of dollars in foreign government emoluments from all over the world. And some people have actually been talking about impeaching President Elon Musk right now, on the theory that he's usurped the powers of the presidency. So,
he hasn't usurped anything at all. He's simply executing his mandate that was handed down from President Trump, and President Trump executing the mandate that he was handed from the American people. So you guys can scream and cry and take your street fights, and you can curse outside of the Department of Education or wherever you're at today. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change because this is our turn and we're going to clean it up. Here is more.
To say Elon Musk, I'm here to tell you about Elon Musk, a man of dignity, a man of truth, a man of honor, who has done a lot for this country and the people of this USA. He's a kind soul, a gentle giant, and he loves America. And I want to tell you that the media is a disgrace. They're disgusting. They turn things around. They try to destroy and cause havoc. This, my friends, is a dangerous compare to say Elon Musk is Hitler. I come here to bring you truths, that God is my witness, that Elon Musk is being targeted for no reason, and this false propaganda will stop now.
Amen.
There have been many people who put their arms up. We, the people, must stand up for our truth and remember that the media and the left tried to destroy President Trump and now Elon Musk. But this won't happen because Elon's goodwill for the Jews and for the United States of America will be stronger than this evil. Elon is humble, and he will stand with America and help make this nation stronger with his knowledge and his love. Elon, we love you. God bless.
I love John Voight, man. John Voight gets it right. Here we have people who, don't get it right. We have Elizabeth Warren, Mario Nafal, 6 hours ago. Elizabeth Warren, do not make the Fed an accomplice. Chair Powell, the next 18 months may define your legacy and the country's trust in the Fed as an institution. Oh, really?
To shudder. Chair Powell, the next 18 months may define your legacy and the country's trust in the Fed as an institution. I expect that you will work with Democrats and Republicans in Congress if DOGE's next move is to try to commandeer the Fed's payment system.
Oh, make it so. Make it so. Yeah, see, they're terrified because the Fed is their secret weapon.
I also expect that you will not join the conspiracy to shutter the CFPB. Unlike the Treasury payment instructions, you can see if the CFPB's funding requests have been manipulated. I understand that some extremists have a different view about what the law ought to be, but under the law right now, impoundment is clearly illegal. Do not make the Federal Reserve an accomplice to this illegal act and forever sully the reputation of the Fed.
Sully the reputation of the Fed? Yeah, sure. Okay, well, we already know about the reputation of the Fed. Speaker Mike Johnson met with Elon Musk, and more bombshell findings are coming. Oh, we ain't done yet, baby.
I met with Elon yesterday about this to get an update, and to me, it's very exciting what they're able to do, because what Elon and the DOGE effort is doing right now is what Congress has been unable to do in recent years because the agencies have hidden some of this from us. You know, there's a lot of oversight activity that goes on around here all the time, you all know, but when duly elected representatives of the people request information to find all of these abuses and it's not turned over to us, what it takes is an actual audit of the systems and the files themselves that are often hidden from Congress. That's what you're seeing right now. And that's why this is so exciting. They're uncovering things that we have known intuitively have been there, but we couldn't prove it. Now the proof is being provided, and no one can argue the counter to that. So stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. And I think that the courts should take a step back and allow these processes to play out. What we're doing is good and right for the American people. What DOGE is doing is making sure that your taxpayer dollars, all of us, are spent in the way that they're intended to be spent, and that they're in America's interest, and they're financially responsible with the precious taxpayers' money. We have a $36 trillion federal debt, and we have got to get a hold of these things. You're going to see it reflected in the reconciliation package that comes forward. You're going to see it reflected in appropriations as we go forward, and you're going to see it in these efforts to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse. And we think the final number on that is going to be substantial and a game changer in Washington for the country.
Game changers all around here. What else have we got? Okay, where was that clip? Defiant Alice, I love how she called him out. This is the Piers Morgan show.
It's there. It's all documented. It's all transparent. And you all hid it.
No, it was transparent until it was taken off of the website, Mercedes. Like, you guys took it down, and then now you're making shit up.
Oh, you think that's your conspiracy theory, really, Mike?
One of the reasons why
Look, it's pathetic. Your argument is Joe Biden lost.
Okay, let me bring in Sage. Sage.
One of the reasons why Kamala Harris / Joe
I met her at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, cool.
Biden / the Democrats, the whole movement lost is because of the lack of transparency, Mike, and I think you know that. You couldn't even be honest about the mental acuity of the commander-in-chief. Everybody knows what was going on the entire time. I spoke to the man, interviewed him 3 months after he was inaugurated in 2021, and he couldn't finish his sentences then in the commercial break leading up to it. And this is not a personal attack. It is devastating, and you couldn't even be honest about that. The transparency is everything. One thing I think I learned about Donald Trump over the last few years is since he lost the election in 2020, what did he say on Joe Rogan? He came out and he was honest. He's like, here, 100%. 100%. That's 4 years ago. If you want to, don't distract. That's my opinion. Let me continue. He went on Joe Rogan and he talked about the fact that he learned a lot, and maybe in that first term he should have taken a little bit more time. And some of his picks weren't the best picks, and was too loyal and did things for too much, for too long, all of the things. He actually admitted it and acknowledged where mistakes had been made and how this time he had another plan if elected. And sure enough, you got to go back to 2015 and 16. And
we are watching it all play out in real time. Elon Musk posting this 15 hours ago. Your tax dollars were spent on forest gender consulting. Today, the Department of Agriculture terminated 18 contracts for a total of $9 million, including contracts for Central American Gender Assessment Consultant Services. What is that? Brazil Forest and Gender Consult Services and the Women in Forest Carbon Initiative Mentorship Program. What does that even mean? Okay, FEMA. Here we have more. FEMA firing employees over $59 million spending on luxury hotels. Oh, and here's the Department of Government Efficiency 6 hours ago fixed. The gender identity section has been deleted. This is the Veterans Benefit and Healthcare website. Personal information, as you see, we scroll up. There it is. There's this section on gender identity. This is before and now after. It is gone. Yeah, only 2 genders. Here we have Tesla owners of Silicon Valley posting this 14 hours. X played a pivotal role, not just in the election, but in keeping the country alive. Here he is talking with Tucker Carlson, Elon and Tucker.
The one,
X, from my perspective, played a
pivotal role, not just in this election, but in keeping the country alive.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, X is, I think, the one place where you can find out the truth.
Yes.
And
the only place.
Yeah.
So how much pressure, to the extent you can say, has there been on you to shut it down or to censor it?
Well, I mean, apart from the multiple Democrats saying that I should go, they want to put me in jail, take away all government contracts from my companies, nationalize my companies, deport me as an illegal, and have me arrested because I'm apparently Putin's best friend. Nothing besides those things.
So you saw Rachel Maddow sort of casually, who's the single most popular media figure on the left.
Yeah.
For the record, say just sort of casually, well, Elon Musk will obviously need to be separated from his companies. You know, he can't be a government, he can't hold government contracts going forward. Like, how do you respond to that?
Rachel Maddow is a crazy person. You know, she's just a frothing at the mouth, crazy fascist, basically. Dressed as sort of pretending to be a liberal, but she's just really like a... I can't imagine if she was in charge, actually in a position of political power, what a nightmare that would be.
Well, many would die.
Oh, man, Tucker with the win there. Also today, here it is, the Department of Education terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. One contractor was paid $1.5 million to observe mailing and clerical operations at a mail center. Department of Government Efficiency posting this 22 hours ago. They were quote tweeting themselves. Today, the Department of Education terminated 29 DEI training grants totaling $101 million. One sought to train teachers to help students understand, interrogate the complex histories involved in oppression, and help students recognize areas of privilege and power on an individual and collective basis. Well, those contracts are over. President Trump has a lot of respect for Elon Musk. That's why he is right there, front and center. Here is now, this is 7 hours ago. This is, I believe, now the moment that DHS fired those individuals for circumventing Donald Trump.
New York City to take... Hey, Bill, well, we have some breaking news this morning. The Department of Homeland Security confirms that it has fired 4 workers for circumventing leadership and facilitating a $59 million payment from FEMA to New York City to take care of and house illegal migrants at hotels like the Row Hotel, where we are in New York City this morning. Now, the FEMA administrator confirms that those payments have already been suspended, and he thanked DOGE workers for exposing this. Now, Elon Musk was the first one to reveal it in a post on X, posting, quote, sending this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. A spokesperson for DHS confirmed the firings with Fox News this morning and reiterated Secretary Kristi Noem's claims that FEMA can't exist in the way that it currently does. Hey, Bill, well, we have some breaking news.
Breaking news. We got some people out of a job. Investigate and defund FEMA. President Trump is doing just that. He posted this on his Truth Social account. We just covered that. CNN. Okay, we have Dan Bongino on Elon Musk's name change to Harry Balls.
Here is Elon Musk, who now goes by Harry Balls. Some of you will get that, by the way. Harry Balls. It's kind of like, by the way, the McGroin crew out there, I would be disappointed if you can, hold on, keep that on the screen. If there is not a Big Balls McGroin yet, there is. Oh, if there isn't, forget it. McGroins, we're going to have to divorce. I'm sorry. Is there a Big Balls McGroin? Someone please point it out in the chat. Because if there isn't, there better be one quick. Anita's not here today. Speak the Truth is out there, but there's got to be a Big Balls McGroin. So we've got Harry Balls, otherwise known as Elon Musk.
Oh my God.
You know what's crazy? I'm not messing with you guys. I actually, for a second, even though they told me this, got a little confused there. I'm like, who the hell's Harry Balls? Even though before the show, I'm like, dude, I just want to warn you, Elon changed this thing.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so as I'm scrolling X today, I kept seeing Harry Balls show up. I'm like, I don't follow Harry Balls. And I didn't I was just like scrolling, so I just kept seeing like hairy balls, hairy balls, hairy balls, hairy balls everywhere. And then I looked closer and I saw that it was Elon Musk's name next to hairy balls. And I said, holy cow, did he really just change his name to Hairy Balls? And yeah, he did. Let's see, did he change it back? Oh, he did change it back. It's all clean now. Elon Musk, this is his page on X. It has now been changed back. Elon Musk. And he dropped the whole circumcision bit as well. Oh, my goodness.
Cut it this way.
Oh, wow. Okay, here we have, here is our boy Elijah Schaefer reporting on the DOGE team.
The DOGE
reporting for the Vigilant Fox
team discovers that FEMA spent $59 million last week on luxury hotels for illegals in New York, violating the current law. Musk vows to recoup the funds. Jim Hoff reports. Elon Musk reported early Monday morning that FEMA sent $59 million. Let me repeat that. $59 million just last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal immigrants. Now, according to Musk, sending this money to these high-end hotels violated the law. This directly interferes with President Trump's executive order.
And that's exactly why they got fired. Here is 6 hours ago, Nick Sortor. Breaking news, Democrat Representative Ayanna Pressley gives me the death stare after I ask her about FEMA's spending on illegals.
Congresswoman, what do you have to say about the fact that FEMA just spent $59 million housing illegal immigrants while people in Western North Carolina lived in tents for the past 4 months? What do you have to say about that? Do you accept that?
Hang on a second. Wait, what's going on here? Look at this. She looks like a Sith Lord. I mean, I'm waiting for her to pull out a red lightsaber and just, strike down at Nick Sortor on the streets of New York. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's like that Klaus Schwab photograph, the one that's floating around where he's like wearing this crazy cloak. Anyway, Sith Lord Ayanna Pressley.
People in Western North Carolina lived in tents for the past 4 months. What do you have to say about that? Do you accept that? Do you accept that? Do you accept the fact that because DOGE exposed that today, it sounds like you have a big problem with the fact that DOGE. I'm not blocking her. I'm not blocking. Excuse me. We're gonna make a little. Are you okay with that? Do you condemn the fact that DOGE exposed FEMA for sending $59 million to house illegal immigrants today?
Excuse me, sir.
Do you condone that?
Excuse me, sir.
I don't know who the
I don't know who. I tell you what. If I don't know who you are. Let's go. You're in the way.
I'm not in the way.
You are in the way.
Okay, then get out of my way. Oh, what's that? What's that look? What's that look?
You see that look?
Who you are?
You see that look? Where it is? Here, wait. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The Sith stare. Oh, man. Wow. Folks, we are living in extraordinary times right now. Elizabeth Warren's narrative fall apart in under 2 minutes during today's Federal Reserve hearing. Here's more from that. Okay, here's the Chief Financial Officer, Mary Comins, fired for illegally funding migrant luxury hotels in New York City against the orders of President Trump. Yep, there she is right there. That's the one who got fired. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, we played that clip of Elizabeth Warren, but is there more here?
An unlimited get-out-of-jail-free card by forcing the CFPB not to do its job. President Trump, Elon Musk, and the author of Project 2025, Let's Vote, are giving Wall Street banks an unlimited get-out-of-jail-free card so they can cheat working families, even while community banks continue to play by the rules. For any Americans who have money deposited at JP Morgan or Wells Fargo or any other of the giant banks, They should now know that there is no one on the job to make sure that those banks are not scamming you.
The suggestion that the ranking member has made here is that the big banks can now scam individuals right now. Any change in the laws regarding how they're supposed to be treating the individual consumers out there or anything along that line?
Law changes? No, I'm not aware of
Any changes in any rules that they would have to follow?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are they still audited, and do they still have the regulators in watching all of their businesses just as they did before?
Well, they'd have all the regulators except for the CFPB.
Very good.
If in fact, in the hypothetical, the CFPB weren't carrying that out.
Anything else you'd like to add before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so CFPB could go away and there would still be regulators, but I think we still need to have the Fed completely gone. Oh, wait, what did she say here?
The alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Balls.
Oh, my God. Here's Representative Jim Jordan taking them all to task as well. Wait, we have more. USAID staffers showed up for work today to Washington headquarters and were immediately turned away after the Trump administration stripped the agency of its lease. The judge ordered they keep their jobs so Trump takes their workplace. God, we're living in amazing times. I can't even believe this is happening. I'm not overreacting. I am so excited to see this stuff happening. Okay, what are you going to say, Jim?
Government, exactly, Mr. Chairman. Instead of stopping the stupid spending, Democrats attack the guy who's exposing it.
Yep.
I think the taxpayers of this country would just as soon we stop spending their money on dumb things. Like what was the example from USAID? Some transgender comic in Ireland spending money on Bert and Ernie and Big Bird on Baghdad TV. I think they would prefer we not do that. Elon Musk is exposing in the federal government exactly what he exposed at Twitter when he purchased Twitter. What did we find out there? Big government was pressuring big tech to censor Americans. And you don't have to take my word for it. We had the Twitter files. Oh, and we also had someone else in big tech send a letter to this committee and tell us exactly what they were doing. Mark Zuckerberg said the Biden administration was pressuring us to censor. We did it. We're sorry. We won't do it again. Told the whole world that in a letter to this committee. So Elon Musk is now doing that for the federal government. We think that's a good thing. And to understand the fundamental difference the left has with us conservatives. Democrats believe it is the career elected bureaucrats who are supposed to run the country. We don't think that's the way it's supposed to work. We actually think it's the people who put their name on a ballot who get elected by we the people who make the decisions. And the guy who got 77 million votes on November 5th says he wants Elon Musk working for him, the elected member who heads the executive branch working for him, every bit as much as the federal employees, the people in Treasury who are supposed to have all the answers, or in USAID who bid the career officials, working for him to expose stupid things our government is spending money on. And the Democrats are going to attack that guy? Go ahead. Go right ahead. But we know the real consequences of having this administrative state, these bureaucrats run things. We got two witnesses here who've lived it. Miss Wade and Mr. Smith. They're here to tell about how that had some impacted their business. So I appreciate the chairman having this hearing. This is exactly the kind of hearing we have to have. And I appreciate the work the president and his team are doing to expose the stupid things bureaucrats spend the hard-earned money of the people we get the privilege of representing.
Yeah, baby, buckle up. Harry Balls is on the case. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's keep going. One of the FEMA officials who was just fired for insubordination was FEMA Chief Financial Officer Mary Comins. She also worked in the government bureaucracy during Trump's first term. How many more rats will we find subverting the will of the people? Well, as long as Harry Balls is on the case, you can guarantee that we will find out. All right. What we have witnessed today, okay? $881 million in terminated contracts, including $1.5 million just to watch mail sorting. Another $101 million in ideological training grants. Speaker Mike Johnson meeting with Elon Musk and confirming that what DOGE is doing right now is what Congress has been unable to do in recent years because the agencies have hidden this from us. I mean, Rand Paul, with his annual Festivus report, has been trying to tell us this for years. And now the curtain is coming back. Now, they're not just finding waste, they're exposing a deliberate system of bureaucratic bloat and ideological programming, all funded by your money. So here's the question nobody in Washington wants to answer. If DOGE found almost $1 billion in waste at the Department of Education in just one day, how many billions are being wasted across all federal agencies? And who is really profiting from this system? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And show your support for government accountability with our MAGA Avengers gear featuring Elon Musk and Ron Paul. Right there on that t-shirt. Grab one. MAGA Avengers hat. Yes, that is the team in Washington at DOGE. Of course, the Next News Network hat. No, over here. Sorry. Grab one of those, put it on, and show the world you stand with real news. Okay, don't go anywhere. We are not done yet. Here's a live look at the White House. It is all lit up and the snow is falling in Washington just as the swamp rats continue to flee. It is a beautiful thing to witness. That is a live shot of the White House. Where are we at on Super Chats, folks? Where are we? Super Chat round up. Okay. Oh, we got a new member. Team Christ, trust in God's word. We need a big name. Okay, trust in God's word. Team Christ, $10. Thank you for that. Amen. Sassafraz has become a member. What's up? Welcome to the family. SR Best dropping $2 just an hour ago. John Ray Gunn, 1999, 31 minutes ago. As a retired combat medic who works now for the government as a civilian, not all of us are evil, LOL. I have been in trouble and threatened for calling out BS since my employment here. Thank you for all you do. Wow. We have a government contractor civilian in the chat right now who has been trying to call it out forever. Thank you for working on the inside on behalf of the people. And then we have Dale Val, Canadian $5. Elon has the biggest balls of them all. Yes, he certainly does. Thank you, Dale, for that $5 Canadian. And then we have this. Maybe you'll be the 51st state soon, and we won't have to say Canadian money anymore. Renee Pastrano, RJ Pastrano from the great state of Texas. Any update on Trump taking out the cartel? Actually, I do not have a. We have an ICE update coming up in a few minutes, and with respect to Trump taking out the cartel, that specific threat against the cartel was contingent upon what we learned is that the cartels were given a green light to attack Border Patrol using kamikaze drones. And if they went ahead and executed that plan, then all bets are off. And then we're going in after the cartels. So we're going to keep watching that. Craig, also dropping another $5. Let's see. He says, can you share your show schedule with me? It seems you have a crazy one. I don't want to miss a show, LOL. Okay, so here's the secret. Everyone paying attention, you need to know. We do these live shows, and sometimes our schedule is pretty fluid most of the time. We try to go live, if we can go live at 3 Central or 5 Central. That's really like the sweet spot. No later than 6. In times past, we've been going much later at 8 or even 10 o'clock at night. Well, those days are gone because we have a producer working alongside me now, Todd, doing great work. So we're able to have a more consistent production schedule. So between 3, 5, 6 o'clock, that's like the sweet spot. But every single segment that we present on this show is then cut and uploaded as an individual video on the channel. So you can sit and hang out with us live. We go through all the segments that are eventually published on the channel as individual uploads. So that's how it works. But the live show serves as the catalyst for those individual uploads, and it serves as a location for everyone in the Next News family to hang out, to chat, talk with me directly. You can send super chats. We can have real live interaction. That's what the raw feed is about. Plus, you know, the thing about the segments is we try to bring you as close to the minute we can with the news that's dropping on X. It's happening so fast. So we're able to insert real-time updates, real-time news as it happens. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we check in with the feed. We check in the latest breaking news at the end of the Raw feed show. So that's how we do it here, and I hope that helps you guys all understand. Thank you, Craig, for asking that question, because we can help enlighten all the thousands of people who are watching. In fact, I just saw, I was actually blown away, over 7,200 people watching across all platforms. Absolutely amazing. Mike's son here dropping $1.99. Iron Mountain is what Elon was talking about. Yeah, Iron Mountain. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Iron Mountain. Yeah, good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Mike's son, for $1.99. And then Salt and Light, Canadian, $6.99. I find it hilarious that a billionaire who speaks like Thurston Howell III can embrace juvenile humor. Thurston Howell. Love it. Okay, folks, we have more news to get to, and here is the ICE segment that you have been waiting for. All right. While the media has been desperately trying to convince you that securing our border is impossible, something remarkable is happening. In just 23 days, President Trump has achieved what the experts claimed couldn't be done. Illegal crossings are down a staggering 95%. The cartels are in a disarray. The Pope is having a meltdown. And even Mexico's economy minister is threatening us with expensive avocados. But tonight we have exclusive details about exactly how this happened, and why the establishment, including, yes, even the Vatican, is in panic mode over Trump's success. And you know what's interesting about border security? It's all about pressure. Too much pressure at the border from illegal crossings and the system fails. The same thing happens with blood pressure in your body. Just as Trump is regulating border pressure, you need to regulate your blood pressure. That's why I trust this incredible formula. While the president secures our national boundaries, you can secure your body's vital systems. The results? They're as impressive as Trump border numbers. Visit boostwithgary.com, get 40% off, and take control of your health like Trump is taking control of the border. Here we go, folks. Let's get into it. Just 8 hours ago, Mario Naval posting this. Mexico to the United States. Enjoy your expensive avocados and cars. Yeah, you really think that Mexico is going to win this one? Mexico's economy minister just torched, this is what he writes, just torched the U.S. 25% tariff plan, calling it a bad idea. Translation, get ready for pricier tacos, cars, and just about everything else. With California and Texas set to take the hardest hit, Mexico's not sitting quietly. They're gearing up to retaliate, meaning a full-blown trade war could be brewing. Meanwhile, Mexico slapped 35% tariffs on imported textiles because if the U.S. wants to play hardball, Mexico's got its own move. So who blinks first is the question. Avocado toast, though. Yeah, it might get a little pricey. And here we have Secretary of Defense just a couple days ago talking about border security and just how important that it is.
Chaos happens when the perception of American strength is not complete. And so we aim to reestablish that deterrence. And it starts with our own southern border. It starts with the defense of our homeland. I think in some ways this department over time has felt like that's somebody else's mission. We've spent a lot of time, decades, my generation and yours, defending other people's borders across the world, yet we've seen an invasion of our own. From people all around the world who I'm sure many of them want to seek a better life. I understand that. But we also don't know who millions of them are, what their intentions are, why they're here. That creates a very real national security threat to the country. Border security is national security. And as the president has told us, we're going to get 100% operational control of our southern border. And that needs to be and will be a focus of this department.
Finally, some common sense in the United States. Here we have just 19 hours ago, the president of El Salvador just told Tucker that the MS-13 participates in satanic sacrifice rituals after he saved the country from the gang takeover, but the media said it was all a conspiracy theory. I'm going to go ahead and retweet this because I think you need to see this in full. It might just be too hot for YouTube, so it's on my X account right now. It was posted by Illuminati Bot. And then we have this White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller provides an update on the southern border. Let's go. 95% down.
Just in the line.
Steve, I'd like you to say a couple of words about it.
Yes, well, as you know, Mr. President, since you issued your day one executive orders, border crossings are down approximately 95%. You talk to agents in the line, in their entire careers, they've never seen crossing days as low as what they're experiencing right now. The cartels, in fact, are enormously frustrated because they've never seen a clampdown like this before in American history. There are people who were working at Border Patrol back when it was INS in the 80s and 90s. They've never seen a day like this. That's because you've mobilized the 10th Mounted Division, the Marines, the entire U.S. military. They're erecting physical miles of barrier, temporary and ultimately permanent, every single day. You have all of your border agents pushed to the front line. They're not doing the humanitarian processing, quote unquote, that Biden was doing. They're doing law enforcement and national security. They're interdicting weapons and drugs. They're interdicting violent, high-threat criminals. And the U.S. military is repatriating illegal immigrants at a pace and a skill that has never occurred before in American history. And those who are committing human trafficking and child trafficking are being prosecuted for felony offenses, and they'll be doing hard time in jail. There's never been a lockdown like what you have implemented through your orders and vision since you took the oath of office.
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep it going, though. Let's keep it going. Fill up Guantanamo with all of them. Oh, and then we have this. Okay, the Pope. The Pope Francis, condemning Trump's immigration crackdown. Pope Francis, in a rare open letter to U.S. Catholic bishops, blasted Trump's immigration policies, rejecting the idea that all undocumented immigrants are criminals. Well, if they came here illegally and they're not documented, then, yeah, they are breaking the law, making them criminals. Oh, boy, here we go. Here we go. Here's the Pope. I exhort all the faithful of the Catholic Church not to give in to narratives that discriminate against and cause unnecessary suffering to our migrant and refugee brothers and sisters. Pope Francis previously called Trump's mass deportation plan a disgrace, deepening tensions between the Vatican and the White House. Okay, that's perfectly fine with me. We don't need false prophets. And then we got this. Tom Homan confirms the ICE operation leak. Remember that? The FBI leaking ICE operational raids. Well, giving them an opportunity to flee a lot of those locations. Well, he has confirmed it originated from the FBI and there is a criminal investigation underway. Libs of TikTok says the FBI agents responsible for this need to be tried for treason.
Tom Homan. Tom, where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside. And we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation. And they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got
Tom Homan. Tom,
we are all over it. They are going to jail. That's what he just said. Okay, so we have more. Check this out. Rapid response 47 just 20 hours ago. It's very difficult. Sanctuary cities, but we're going to keep coming, says Border Czar Tom Homan, doubling the manpower.
Arrested and put in account. Well, sanctuary cities, they're putting up every roadblock possible. Rather than arresting the bad guy in a county jail, it takes one agent to arrest a bad guy when they gets arrested and put in a county jail. We got to send the whole team to the neighborhood. So it's very difficult in sanctuary cities, but we're going to keep coming. What are we doing about sanctuary cities? I'm going to double the manpower in those sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities, if we can't get them in their homes, we'll get them in their place of employment. We're going to have large-scale worksite enforcement operation. So we're going to send more resources. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming with more. We're going to increase the targeting in those cities. We're going to give full steam ahead on sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are becoming the priority. Why? Because they're protecting public safety threats and national security threats. So we're going to double manpower. We're going to double operations. We're going to double targeting. We're coming full bore, and they're not going to stop us. I'm taking this seriously. I don't sleep well at night because I'm afraid of the people that are walking the streets here every day because sanctuary cities are protecting them. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. Bottom line. So we're going to do everything we can to find them, regardless of what it takes. We got a strong president in the White House that's giving us all the authority we need. We're coming.
We are coming, folks. Nowhere to hide now. What is this? Okay, remember this. Okay, I think this is from Savannah Hernandez. Now, this was posted by Defiant L's 8 hours ago, but it's her report that she filed a little while back, exposing just the insanity of the spending under the Biden administration and the accommodations afforded to illegals.
Tables and chairs.
How much is rent here?
Free. 2 years.
After 2 years, we have to pay the rent. All right, y'all, this is Savannah Hernandez in Brunswick, Maine, reporting to you from the apartments where migrants are getting their rent paid for up to 2 years. Now, I wanted to give you guys a first inside look at these units. The migrants shared with us that they come furnished, so they have a flat screen TV in there, couches, tables and chairs, a bed. We also asked them as well, hey, are you paying utilities here? They shared with us that nope, they do not have a water bill, they do not have an electricity bill.
And what about the light and the water?
Everything is good. We don't pay anything. Now, I wanted to focus in on this area of Maine because there is a housing crisis going on currently for residents, and these buildings were initially created for Maine residents, but then it was decided that homeless migrants would be living here. Now, as an American, you can rent out one of these units, but a 1-bedroom is going to run you about $1,800, and a 2-bedroom is going to run you about $2,300. By the way, the average housing price for a house over here in Brunswick is about $480,000. So there was obviously a lot of outrage when it was first discovered that migrants were going to be housed here for free on taxpayer dollar. Now, I wanted to focus in on Brunswick as well because this is the same county that has received FEMA funding from that same program that spent almost $1 billion through the fiscal year of 2023 and 2024 on sheltering illegal immigrants throughout the United States of America. By the way, FEMA coming out and saying that they have run out of that funding.
We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This is why I wanted to come up this way. This is why I wanted to come to Brunswick, because I wanted to show you guys a comparison of how the federal government is treating American citizens versus illegal immigrants and migrants in this country. This is how migrants up in Maine, up in Brunswick are living. We also went to Bangor, we went to Lewiston, and there are African migrants who share with us that they really like it over here, that they've been treated very well. We spoke to Catholic Charities who told us that they are expecting more migrants. They're actually bringing more migrants up this way.
Yeah, so we're expecting up to 150 refugees starting yesterday until September 30th, which is the fiscal year. And then we also have walk-in clients, which will increase those numbers. Generally for refugees that we know are coming, we help them get set up with an apartment, but we're always looking for like other landlords to work with as well for apartments.
So I wanted to give you guys an idea of what was going on in Maine, the uppermost corners of the United States of America, where you wouldn't expect there to be migrants. This is a direct result of the open border, the illegal immigration crisis that has been allowed to prosper over the past 3-4 years, and it's stretching to even areas of America that you wouldn't expect.
And that party is straight up over. Savannah Hernandez breaking that amazing news. Not even amazing, just like disgusting news some time ago. Check this out. Did you hear this? Border Czar Tom Homan is not happy. He's not happy, folks. I wonder why.
Does that need to be arrested?
Mr. Homan, is the president happy with the number of arrests?
I'm not. The arrest, if you look at the arrests in the Interior Enforcement, it's about 3 times higher than it was a year ago today. 3 times higher is good. but I'm not satisfied. There's more criminal aliens that need to be arrested, hundreds of thousands. Sanctuary cities are putting roadblocks up. We got leaks. So we need to increase the arrest of illegal aliens, especially those with criminal convictions. So we're going to continue. So 3 times higher is good. The numbers are good. For me, not good enough. We got to get more.
Not good enough. Okay. What is this? The DOJ opened up criminal investigation. Oh, wow. Okay. Tom Homan revealed that the DOJ may have identified the mole who leaked the ICE deportation.
The California.
Tom, where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside. And we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation. And they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got the DHS IG investigating the first one. Have a pretty good idea what happened. Can't share a lot because it's under investigation, but the IG's opened up a criminal investigation on the second one. We're sending a strong message. It's just not, giving the bad guys a heads up so they can escape apprehension. Right? We're arresting, giving, the Venezuela gang a heads up so we can't arrest them. You're putting officers' lives at risk. It's only a matter of time if we walk into a place where there's going to be a bad guy doesn't care. He's going to be sitting and wait for the officers to show up and ambush them. This is not a game. So DHS and DOJ are connected at hip to hold these people responsible in a
criminal fashion. They are... The FBI, really? I mean, absolutely disgraceful. That's why we need to get Cash confirmed as soon as possible so that he can start to gut the FBI from all of these criminal actions that are affecting our national security. I mean, this is treasonous. And these people should be tried for treason. I do agree with Libs of TikTok here. The FBI agents responsible need to be tried for treason. Unbelievable. So the numbers don't lie, and they're telling an extraordinary story. A 95% reduction in illegal crossings. The cartels, according to the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, are enormously frustrated. They've never seen anything like this. Meanwhile, the Pope himself is angry, and he's writing letters about it. And Mexico's threatening us with expensive produce. But here's what they're not telling you. This is not just about immigration. It's about the fundamental shift in American sovereignty. And here's the question nobody in the mainstream media dares to ask. If Trump can secure the border this effectively in just 23 days without any new laws or congressional approval, why didn't the previous administration do it? What were they really protecting? Share your theories in the comments below and show your support for the Next News Network with our exclusive gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It is linked down below. All right, here is a live shot of the White House. The camera is panning, taking a look. Oh, that's not sorry, my bad. This is the shot here. There it is. Pardon me. There it is. There's the shot of the White House as you can see it right now. Look at that snowfall coming down in D.C. I really hope this doesn't affect my trip. I've got a friend there who's flying there right now. He was going there for a Black Lives Matter event. And he just texted me, and he stated that he is his event got canceled. So he's still heading there. He's got a radio show that he has to do. I guess he's going to do it from a local affiliate. He's got AM 560 is the Chicago station, but now he's running the Detroit arm of that network. So I was planning on meeting up with him. Maybe we'll see him on tomorrow night's show. But apparently his event, the Black Lives Matter event at the White House that he was going to, has been canceled. Okay, checking in on these super chats real quick here. Let's see, real quick. Okay, Curtis Allison, what's up, Curtis? I saw your name pop up, and I'm like, that's Curtis Allison. I know who Curtis Allison is. What's up? Good to see you, dude. And Stephen Ledoux, he says, God bless America and God bless Harry Balls. Okay, trying to clean it up a little bit. Go to Trust in God's Word, $17. The book has been written. God wins. God bless Trump and God bless Musk. Deborah Myers, $5. She says, I had eye surgery a couple days ago. Things still a little blurry, but wanted to send something. Glad you cleared up the schedule. Now I know when you're on. Yes, Deborah. Now, okay, with respect to the schedule, because tomorrow is, we fly in, we land in D.C. around 1, and then we've got to get checked into the hotel. We've got to get settled in. I've got to unpack all my gear. We've got to set it up and test everything. So tomorrow's going to be a little weird. It may not be like on point. Just keep an eye out for the channel. Check in, see if you see anything scheduled. We're going to do our best to stay on schedule. And then Thursday, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen, because I'm going to the White House at 2 p.m. and I got the form. I've got to get with Angie. We've got to fill it out. And so I don't know how long we're going to be, how long the process is going to take once we get there, how many other people are going to be in front of us for this appointment. Are they all scheduled for 2 o'clock? Is there going to be a room full of people? My friend Ed Zoll just sent me some photographs of him at the White House. Now, if you remember Ed Zoll, he's done some work for us here at the Next News Network, and he's working with the Lindell Network. I believe he's working with Gateway Pundit as well. So we're going to be talking with him, too, about a partnership and strategy session with respect to the White House coverage, because he's going to be there quite often. So that's happening in the background. But he sent me pictures. I'm just like, whoa, dude, you're there, But, it's nothing new for him. He was actually a White House correspondent for True TV, I believe, some years ago. But now he's there with Lindell and Gateway Pundit as a producer, and really excited for him. Love that guy. He actually, when we were at the Miami Trump Doral Amp Fest, he was our correspondent on the ground doing all the interviews. You may remember some of those that we did. So he does phenomenal work. Just totally upstanding reporter. You guys, I'm sure you're familiar with him. So we're going to be working with him. But when he sent me the pictures from the White House, I said, oh, wow, this is so awesome. How exciting. How exciting is that? Let's continue here. This is, okay, I didn't have the chat room up. I apologize. So now you guys are there. Now you see it. Okay, Deborah Myers, let's see. Okay, useless idiot. To hell with the Pope. Break into the Vatican and see what happens, or just be on the property undocumented and see what happens. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Deborah Myers gifting 5 Next News Network memberships. Stacy Silva, Sean Romero, Howling Wolf, Exilus, and Justin, all now members. So we got 6 new members. Six new members, and we're at $155.77 in the Super Chats. Useless Idiot also dropping another $5. It's the definition of treason, you giving aid and comfort to a known enemy. And Sammy K also dropping $5. God bless you and God bless America. Winning. That's what we are doing. Okay, we've got more news to get to. It is only just beginning. This is awesome. This is great news. I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to just get this thing set up. Okay. This is going to be a fun segment, so don't go anywhere. It affects all of us. All right? In 2015, a man was mopping prison floors while watching Donald Trump descend that golden escalator. That man was Rod Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois. And he knew at that moment everything was about to change. And now that change has arrived in the form of a full presidential pardon that has Washington insiders in absolute panic. Why? Because Rod Blagojevich isn't just another pardoned politician. He is a living testament to how the Obama machine operated. And tonight, for the first time anywhere, you're going to hear his full story that they desperately tried to bury. And you know what's ironic? While Rod Blagojevich was locked in a cold prison cell for 8 years, the system that put him there stayed warm and cozy. And speaking of staying warm, that's exactly why I want to tell you about this revolutionary portable heater. Just as Trump's pardon is bringing heat to the deep state, this heater brings warmth to any room instantly. Don't let the establishment freeze you out like they did Rod. Visit StayWarmNow.com and get 60% off this incredible device. Stay warm while watching the swamp sweat. That's StayWarmNow.com. Okay, so the news of the full pardon, it happened about less than 24 hours ago. And this is the moment that President Trump signed the full presidential pardon. And dude, I've got some stuff lined up for you that's going to blow your mind. So watch this.
Next, we have a full and unconditional pardon for former Governor Rod Blagojevich of the state of Illinois.
Good. It's my honor to do it. I've watched him. He was set up by a lot of bad people, some of the same people that I had to deal with. He wasn't quite as successful, but he had somebody that saw what was going on. I didn't know him other than I believe he was on The Apprentice for a little while. He was just a very nice person. He had a fantastic wife. She fought like hell to get him out. He was given a sentence of like 18 years. And there was a sort of a terrible injustice. They just were after him. They go after a lot of people. These are bad people on the other side. So I think he's just a very fine person. And this shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have happened to him. And let him have a normal life and let him go out and do what he has to do. So I'm signing this as a full pardon. Rod Blagojevich.
Mr. President, are you considering him for ambassador to Serbia?
No, but I would. I mean, he's now cleaner than anybody in this room. He got a pardon. He's cleaner than anybody in the room. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so that was the moment that history was made. And then last night, he gave a press conference. Here is a moment from that outside of his home. Now, when his prison sentence was commuted, I was there at his house when he came out and gave a press conference. In fact, I was in the room at Trump Tower when Donald Trump, years ago, he took the temperature in the room and he asked everybody, do you think that I should pardon Rod Blagojevich? And I immediately jumped out of my seat and I said, yes, pardon Rod Blagojevich. There's, of course, noticeable groans from the entrenched GOP swamp members that were still in the room with us. But when I did that, it created a wave of support through that room. President Trump then went ahead and commuted the sentence, and I was honored to be able to interview him, his first interview when he got out of prison. We're going to show you some of that in a minute, but first let's go to Rod as his been now completely pardoned.
It was a long, hard. I want to express our deepest and most profound and everlasting gratitude to President Trump for what he's done today, for the full presidential pardon. I think about my relationship with President Trump, and it's really, well, he's always doing things for me, and he never asked me to do anything for him. I had a chance to be on his television show, and then he ended what was a long, hard nightmare. After 2,896 days in prison, nearly 8 years, President Trump pulled me out of there, and now he did this. And all I can tell you is that President Trump is a man who, when he sees things that are wrong, he rights them and puts an end to them. And Patty and I, and Amy and Annie, will always be grateful to President Trump and never, ever forget his kindness to us.
Oh, yeah. So the other day, national heavyweight, the conservative caucus energizes grassroots to a sold-out crowd ready to flip Illinois red. And that is the room just a few days ago that I was in as well with Rod Blagojevich streaming this live for you. Now, this from the Illinois Review. Before I get to some of the other elements, there's now talk that Rod could be an ambassador to Serbia or even running for the mayor of Chicago, or maybe running for Congress or even Senate in the state of Illinois. So Illinois Review posted this thread. President Trump has granted Rod Blagojevich a full and unconditional pardon, erasing his federal convictions. This decisive action corrects a grave injustice and restores Blagojevich's rights as an American citizen. Blagojevich, the former Illinois governor, was convicted in 2011 on charges including attempting to sell Barack Obama's vacated Senate seat. He served 8 years of a 14-year sentence before President Trump commuted his sentence in 2020. Despite his release, Blagojevich's conviction remained until now. With his pardon, President Trump acknowledges the excessive nature of the original sentence and the political motivations that may have influenced the prosecution. It's important to note that the Illinois Senate had previously impeached and removed Blagojevich from office in 2009, barring him from holding any state-level public office in Illinois. This action was separate from his federal conviction. However, the state-level ban does not extend to federal positions. The U.S. Constitution sets the qualifications for federal offices, and state impeachment does not disqualify an individual from serving in federal roles. With his federal conviction pardoned, Blagojevich is now legally eligible to run for U.S. Congress or the U.S. Senate. The Illinois Senate ban cannot prevent him from seeking federal office, as state restrictions do not apply at the federal level. Blagojevich now has the opportunity to serve the public again should he choose to pursue a role in federal government. For more updates and in-depth analysis on this and other political developments, follow the Illinois Review. And yes, we have friends at the Illinois Review. We support their work wholeheartedly. I want to point out, though, because there is this rumor, there's talk of him running for mayor, right? So if he runs for mayor, can he actually do that? Well, yeah, I mean, anyone can run. And if he does, in fact, run, then maybe he'll just challenge the rulings against him in Illinois, right? So, urgent alert from Mila Joy. Trump pardons Blagojevich. Chicago mayoral race just got wild. President Trump has just pardoned former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. It's not a pardon, it's a political resurrection, paving the way for Blagojevich to run for mayor of Chicago. Blagojevich, once ousted in a scandal shook the nation, now has set the stage for a dramatic comeback. Is this the twist Chicago politics needed, or a recipe for chaos? Well, I certainly hope that he does run for office in Illinois. Here is the moment that I'm going to get to some of these really important clips, but let's take a look at how WGN News framed this whole thing.
He spoke a short time. Tonight, we're hearing from disgraced Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich,
See, like they right out the gate, disgraced former governor Rod Blagojevich. I mean, they're already setting the tone. This is how they frame this whole thing. Disgraced. Well, he's not disgraced. He has a full pardon, and we're gonna wait till you hear his own words. Okay, I don't want you to click out. I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to stay here, and I want you to share this. This is very important because it gives us very deep perspective. Okay, but first, let's check out WGN.
Pardoned today by President Donald Trump.
And WGN's Brona Tumulty is outside the Blagojevich family home in Ravenswood Manor neighborhood, where he spoke a short time ago to reporters. Brona?
Good evening, guys. The former governor came out of his house tonight smiling, saying having reporters out here was just like the old days. He sang President Trump's praises, saying he found out about the news through a phone call.
I think about my relationship with President Trump, and it's really, well, he's always doing things for me, and he never asked me to do anything for him.
A new twist in a political saga and a clean slate tonight for ex-Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. Speaking outside his home, his wife Patty at his side, saying they got a phone call 2 weeks ago from President Donald Trump.
He told me that this is what he was going to do, and so we've known it for a couple of weeks.
The president making good on that promise today with the stroke of a pen, issuing a full pardon after previously commuting Blagojevich's 14-year prison sentence during his first term in office.
It's my honor to do it. I've watched him. He was set up by a lot of bad people, some of the same people that I had to deal with.
The pair became acquainted in 2010 after Blagojevich appeared on and was booted off Trump's reality TV show Celebrity Apprentice. But it was several years before that In 2002, that Blagojevich rose to the office of governor, even winning re-election before his career came crashing down around him. FBI agents showing up at his door in December 2008, arresting him on a wealth of political corruption charges. Amongst those there that morning, former head of the Chicago FBI, Rob Grant, whom WGN spoke with in 2019.
That denial that I've really done nothing wrong doesn't reflect to me somebody that's accepted responsibility for what they did.
The charges against Blagojevich included trying to shake down a children's hospital CEO for campaign contributions and an effort made to sell Barack Obama's old Senate seat after he was elected to the White House. His brazenness even recorded on federal wiretaps.
I've got this thing, and it's golden, and I'm just not giving it up for nothing.
That I'm innocent of any and all of these allegations.
The Illinois General Assembly impeached Blagojevich and ousted him from office in 2009, but it took 2 trials to convict him. The first jury was hung, but he was eventually found guilty in 2011, serving 8 years of his sentence before Trump's commutation.
After 2,896 days in prison, nearly 8 years, President Trump pulled me out of there, and now he did this. And all I can tell you is that President Trump is a man who, when he sees things that are wrong, he writes them and puts an end to them.
Now, rumours are swirling about a potential new post as U.S. ambassador to Serbia, following a meeting between Blagojevich and the Serbian president just days ago.
I'm not going into foreign affairs. Are you crazy?
When pushed further, though, he declined multiple times to comment on whether he's been offered that role or expects to be, but used the moment to reiterate his innocence.
I never, ever wavered in my determination to prove to the people of Illinois and anybody else who's listening that I broke no laws, crossed no lines, never took a penny.
So what is next? Well, Blagojevich did tell us he is writing a book about his experiences and will continue doing some consulting work on the side. He did rule out running for public office again, though in spite of the pardon, he would still be barred from doing at the state level, but he has always been eligible to run on the federal side. Well, live tonight at Ravenswood Manor, Bronagh Tumult.
Okay, so there's so much more. Here's the photo of me and Rod just a few days ago at that event, standing room only, and Rod calls himself a Trumpocrat. Yeah. And so I know you guys want to see this, and we got some clips here from his appearance on Tucker Carlson and on Joe Rogan. But you know what? Before he ever was on any of those shows, he was right here on the Next News Network. Why? Because I stood up and I spoke out. Mark Vargas called me up. He said, we're going to connect you with the Wall Street Journal. He's like, we need to get a quote from you. And guess what? Rod's going to go on your show when he gets out. You're going to be the first. And I was like, hell yeah. So we got the clip. This is when he was on my show, and Angie was right here, sitting right across from this desk. I got a couple great clips. Don't go anywhere. Watch the stuff and soak it in. This is deep, deep knowledge.
The big chart.
President Trump commuted your sentence, calling that 14-year sentence ridiculous.
They sent me to prison for 14 years because they're trying to cover up the truth, and they're still doing that. But
You mentioned these parallels between yourself and President Trump, and can you elaborate on that? Like, you were sort of the test case for these guys.
I do think that. I believe that very much, because as I watched from prison what they were doing to President Trump, it was what Yogi Berra said, deja vu all over again. It was also familiar to me. Okay, it starts out with the big charge, and the clever labeling of it, Russian collusion, sale of the Senate seat, and then when the general public, they don't understand a lot of the routine practices in our business. That's understandable. So what these people will do is they'll take some of these things and they'll use the media, and that's certainly been the case against President Trump and with the mainstream media, and particularly with some of the more dishonest places like CNN and MSNBC, and they'll follow a narrative that they're being fed by the prosecutors. So John Cass, for example, is a total lackey for those U.S. attorneys down at 219 Dearborn. And the media here, they have to be careful because it's a barter system with how the media works, because they have these connections with the prosecutor's office, and they've got to, as a practical business decision, they've got to pursue the false narrative that these people want them to pursue. Otherwise, they're fearful they'll lose access to these people in the other cases that might actually be real, because it's a business with these media outlets. And unfortunately for our democracy, many of them have forgotten what their responsibility is as the fourth estate. In other words, they're the ones who are supposed to keep checks and balances on all the power centers in our society so that the truth can come out, and sunshine being the best disinfectant. That's what they're supposed to do. But they don't want to solve problems. They want to keep the problem out there so they keep the people needing them. Now you got this guy, businessman, hugely successful in business and in entertainment, and everything he touches. Trump has the Midas touch. It's among the reasons why I truly believed he was going to win when he announced. Then he comes to Washington and he's actually doing something, are you ready for this? That shocks the political establishment.
What's that?
Keeping his promises. Keeping his promises to the people.
Oh, yeah.
It is shocking to them because they think it's all part of the skills that you have as a politician. Like Michael Jordan had such a wonderful jump shot and he was so good. And Jordan could play great defense and he had all aspects to his game. These politicians look at these skills, the ability to be full of crap. Okay, the ability to make promises you have no intention of keeping. The ability to change positions. Nancy Pelosi could be against the impeachment of President Clinton because it's setting a dangerous precedent and you're criminalizing and using the impeachment process, which is supposed to be very rare, for political purposes, and yet she can flip-flop, as can Schumer and a whole bunch of others.
Look at Nadler, the stuff that Nadler was saying.
Jerry Nadler, who I was in Congress with together, we were all against impeaching Clinton for what he did. It was wrong and terrible, but was that an impeachable offense? Weedy thought it wasn't. How could that standard then be different when they then use it against President Trump? See, they have the ability to just flip-flop without any sense of conviction or principles. And then they, amongst themselves, Chuck Schumer, another one, they like to brag about. Frankly, Senator Durbin, a total professional politician. He's good at it, but he's a total professional politician. They don't want to solve problems. And then when they're amongst themselves, they laugh about how, are you ready for this? They laugh about how their game is good. Look at me. I was duplicitous today. I flip-flopped on something that just a few short years ago, I took another position on. And so the president is getting all the pushback he gets because he's actually keeping his word to the people. He's doing the things he said he was going to do.
Oh, that's just the beginning, friends. That's just the beginning. Now, I can go to Tucker, I can go to Rogan, but hey, come on, guys. We got to go to the next news network first, right? Here is more. This is Blago dropping truth bombs on the Russia collusion hoax.
President of the United States, because if you really think about the whole Russian collusion thing, the whole thing was ridiculous, that anybody would even remotely think it was wrong. And this Ukrainian call. The President of the United States has a constitutional obligation, if he knows or she knows that there may be corruption, to look into it. And to not look into it is to fail to do his or her duty. So when the President asks Zelensky, the President of Ukraine, would he look into this? Because there's probable cause to think that there's something that is not fishy when it comes to your son's, making a whole bunch of money in Ukraine, and Vice President Biden is bragging about using his leverage of $1 billion in American taxpayer money to have a prosecutor in Ukraine fired who's looking into the company that his son works at. Now, that's possible corruption. That needs to be investigated and looked into. And yet again, this just shows you what's going on with our country today and how the weaponization of the prosecutors for political purposes. It isn't just about putting somebody like me in prison for 8 years. This issue is much larger than that. Not even about as much about taking a president out, which is horrific, but it's about all the people, we the people, losing our power to decide who our leaders are through free elections. This is about the right of self-government, and these unelected bureaucrats with fancy law degrees are a direct threat to our freedoms as Americans, and Americans need to wake up and fight against this and demand that the necessary reforms are put in place so these people can be held accountable.
And that's what's happening right now. I mean, he is foreshadowing a lot of what we're seeing today. And that's what's so cool about being able to talk about this. I mean, here, show you this. Rod Blagojevich, torching the swamp, CNN, fake news.
Over the years, well, not the recent years, but before I was away, I would do a lot of shows, radio, television, maybe a couple of podcasts, but never have I been treated so well with such a wonderful welcome. You provide fruit plates. You provide even ice cream if you choose.
We heard you like ice cream.
Yes, but not this early. But but they don't give you this on CNN. They just give you fake news.
Oh yeah, CNN. Angie and I watched that interview with Anderson Cooper, and we were actually quite disgusted at the way he treated you. What happened there?
Well, I think it was, frankly, they're so filled with hatred towards President Trump that anything President Trump does, they're against. And so I think he was venting against me because of his animosity towards President Trump. And that's what they do. And that's unfortunate because they're doing a disservice to the public and their viewers. Because if they're so filled with hate, and hate is toxic.
Hate is toxic. Agreed.
You're not going to do the thing that's right, and you're going to misinform your viewers and, frankly, not keep the trust with them, because there's so much that happens on CNN that is just flat out wrong. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're losing to the Home and Garden Channel, Nickelodeon, I believe. So what I like to say is more people like to watch grass grow on the Home and Garden Channel than watch Anderson Cooper beat up Rod Blagojevich. So don't worry, not many people saw it. Nobody was watching.
It didn't bother me at all. I mean, I'm used to it, and I'm happy to take on all comers.
Absolutely.
I have the truth on my side, and I'm eager to get it out.
Amen. Amen to that. You know, there was a 5-year investigation, and it came to an abrupt end when the Justice Department leaked information to the Tribune in order to avoid having to arrest Obama's presidential election campaign co-chair Jesse Jackson Jr. for trying to buy Obama's Senate seat. Buy it. I mean, we can talk about that, exactly what the definition of buy is, and what's the price tag? Is it a real price tag? Is it physical? Is it financial? Is it, some political favors? Whatever. We'll talk about that. But President Trump commuted your sentence last month, calling that 14-year sentence ridiculous. Now, I was in the room when it all went down at Trump Tower, when he took the temperature in the room, and it was really remarkable. But getting into politics, you can expect to make friends and enemies. Now, I was doing some Google searching. There's a lot of people that don't like you. They don't like you, man. Even neocon Meghan McCain. I'm no fan of Meghan McCain. She supports the conservative angle now and again, but I don't like her. She called you the swampiest preacher in the world. John Cass wrote in the Chicago Tribune of the former Chicago Public Schools CEO who was watching that press conference that you gave outside your house. Now, I was there. I was actually standing right behind you. Wow. Yeah, I was right there. He said he was watching, and he says there was no remorse in you. Now, I was physically maybe 2 feet behind you, and I could really feel the emotion that was coming off of you, coming off your wife. And so I think he's completely wrong there. But the Tribune says, or Cass from the Tribune says, 12 million people of Illinois are victims of Blagojevich. Do you have any remorse or regrets of any of your dealings as governor?
Well, I naturally have regrets. Certain things that I could have done better. Certain things that I didn't do enough for example, criminal justice reform. I could have done so much more in that area. I just didn't know, and I was like most people. I trusted the system, and I believed I frankly believed that the federal prosecutors were honorable and decent. They don't bring fake cases against people. And I still believe most of them are, all of that. They're honorable and decent, but there is a handful of some of the same players using the same playbook. It's Fitzgerald and Comey, Mueller, and people like that who've criminalized routine political practices for political purposes and for financial gain, because when they can get a big target like a governor or a president, they go into law firms and become partners and make millions of dollars. That's what's happened with the prosecutors. In my case, Fitzgerald's a partner in a law firm, I'm told, making all kinds of money. In fact, he's so morally bankrupt that his law firm, now that he's in the private sector, represented Michigan State University, and they whitewashed the investigation against that doctor that was abusing those young girls. So he's taken that dishonesty that he used as a prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, and now moved it into the private sector as a partner in a law firm to do the same kind of thing. Over the years, I've won.
Okay, we got some more clips to get to. Here is Blago on Tucker Carlson saying as soon as he was elected senator, Obama asked someone close to Rod to call hospitals.
Half of Michelle, personal, but okay, and I was happy to be helpful. But he's one of the more selfish people in politics on a one-on-one level, and he's not pure like the driven snow in the sense of his ethics or morality. And, Tony Resco's the guy who bought this lot next to Obama's home. And one of the things I write about in my book is that when I was governor first, and then Barack won in 2004, I was asked to make a phone call on behalf of Michelle Obama, because as soon as he won the Senate race, she wanted a job either at Northwestern University or the University of Chicago hospitals for $200,000 to $300,000 a year, the wife of the new senator. And I was asked, would you call? And
was she specific about how much she wanted?
Yeah. And
she was specific about salary?
Yeah. And I think Northwestern, we should double check this, but I think my recollection is good. I think Northwestern was willing to pay $200,000 to hire her. This is the wife of the new U.S. senator, and federal money for, Medicaid and Medicare, things like that. And then they got a better offer at the University of Chicago, which is in Hyde Park, where they're from, $300,000, and she ended up working there. And I called to help, because you help people in politics, and the guy's wife wants a job, I'll make a phone call. He didn't get it. She didn't get it because of me, but it didn't hurt to have the governor call and say, hey.
Second Obama gets elected, Michelle says, I want a job at one of two hospitals for between $200,000 and $300,000.
That's correct. Yeah, and she ended up working at the University of Chicago Hospital. I'm almost certain $300,000 a year. So, but okay. And I was
See how this works? You see how this works? I've got some more clips here, but in case you missed it, okay. This is a funny story about how he met Donald Trump in an elevator. This is really good. Listen to this.
So they're commandeering a freight elevator, and I look ahead and I see an extremely familiar face, Donald Trump, in that freight elevator in December 2003. Now, this is 6 years before I do Celebrity Apprentice. And he's standing next to this beautiful woman with this jet black hair, very tall, obviously an international model. And, my first thought, being a man, was along the lines of that beautiful woman he was with, and thinking, man, you got to love this Donald Trump. And then I see my guys kicking him out of the elevator, and her. And he complies because they're the police. So he stands outside the elevator, and she does too. And they're holding it open for me. I walk in, and there I am, 12 years later in prison, looking at Melania and saying she lightened her hair. He married, that was Melania. And then I thought, those guys that worked for me kicked her and him out of that freight elevator. Thank God I invited them in to take a ride, because if that backstabbing, selfish, sellout Obama ultimately sells me out for starting what I went to prison for and passes me by, which he ultimately did. My last line of defense, if I can't get justice in the courts, is Donald Trump. And sure enough, right? It ended up, he did it. Well, I didn't do it. He didn't do it. They did to me at the AAA level, to a Democratic governor, what they thought they can get away with doing to a Republican candidate for president at the major league level. That's what's happening in America today. That's exactly what's happening in America today. And when Jim talks about the threat to freedom, that's what's at stake. Freedom, and the gift of freedom is fragile. I've learned hard lessons about that. I never could imagine that prosecutors, the best and the brightest, who go to the best schools, could be so rotten and dirty and corrupt and dishonest, or that judges could be that way too. Yeah, I never knew that. But there was one area that knew it. And when all that stuff was coming down on me, and you got all that media around your house every single day, and you're doing the best you can to say, man, I didn't do it. I'm on every show I can get on. Thank goodness I was on those shows, because Trump saw me on the David Letterman show. So they're commandeering
Trump saw him on the David Letterman show. I mean, this is how far back this goes. Okay, we have some more. Okay, this is the freight elevator story. Okay, this is the story about him mopping the floors and seeing Trump.
There is a deep state. Donald Trump is right when he talks about that. And he is so courageous and so strong and so patriotic on how he's willing to put himself out there and fight that deep state. So I'm for him largely because of that. Had he passed me by, I'd have limped home 4 years after Mark and President Trump helped me come home, I'd have still been for him. I was for him when I was in prison watching him and watching some of this go down when it all happened. In fact, I'll tell you a story. And Cash, you'll appreciate this. I'm doing my job. They make us have jobs in prison. And I had a variety of different jobs. By the way, that lieutenant who told you they didn't want you guys to eat, that's a merciful people, because the food in prison sucks. No, they realize this is how it is. It's a very segregated world, by the way, by design. And I write about this in a book that I'm writing, which is a real pain in the ass, because I'm reliving those experiences, and I'm having these recurring dreams that I'm still there. In fact, I had one the other night, that I was in a new camp. They sent me to a different camp. They first put me in a higher prison in real life. Then when you behave well and you're under 10 years of your sentence, then you get to go to the camp, which is not as hard as the prison behind the razor wire. I'm the only governor in American history who went from a 50,000 square foot governor's mansion to a 6 foot by 8 foot prison cell. Hey. And anyway, when I got out of there, and it was 2015, and I'm in the camp and I'm sweeping floors, I look up to the television, CNN, where all the black guys watch television. And here's Donald Trump coming down an escalator with this beautiful woman with chestnut colored hair. And I look at that, but I can't hear it because you got to have headphones on to be able to hear the television. And I had my headphones on, the music to help me do my job, mopping floors. And so I decided to see what was going on, because I knew Trump years before. I'd been on Celebrity Apprentice. Anybody remember that? That you see me on? Remember that? He almost always gets it right, doesn't he? He was so right to fucking fire me. Wasn't he? So right. I couldn't open a computer. They had me. Joan Rivers was haranguing me for serving her a hamburger that was cold. Nice woman, by the way. But who'd have thought when I was on that show, and they filmed that in October 2009, about 10 months after I'd been arrested, who'd have thought then that when he fires me, that he'd be the President of the United States? All those years later, I'd be mopping floors in prison, and I'd look up and I'd see him coming down the escalator with this beautiful woman with chestnut brown hair. And my first thought is, holy cow, he married her. There is a
man, this guy, he has a way, and I love hearing him talk. It's such a delight to interview him. Okay, we've got another clip here. Don't go anywhere. Here is more from the podcast.
Unless you have I can't possibly lose. They sent me to prison for things that are legal and political and routine. I never took a dime. This is not about personal corruption. It's all politics. And then I would say, all I need is the appellate court to see that the way they convicted me was using an unlawful standard, that the case, McCormick versus United States, and it's there for any of your listeners and viewers to see, 1991 case that defines where the line is. And the line is, unless you have evidence of an express promise or threat, then it's just routine politics. So there was never that. They don't allege that. So the way they convicted me was they misled the jury. They lied to the jury with fake jury instructions by moving the line, and said that if I have conversations and seek campaign contributions from anyone that might benefit from the actions of me as governor, think about this, that if that standard were applied to everybody in politics, every senator who votes for a bill that supports the pharmaceutical industry and then gets campaign contributions from them, they'd be thrown in prison. Now, Washington establishment, this is what they want President Trump to do, and he won't do it. So, yes, it would be better if there's a better system. But under the current rules, you should play by those rules. I stayed within the lines. If they used that standard against others, they'd all be in prison. Now, having said that, why didn't they want me out? Because I think that they know what the truth is, and they understand that, I think I can speak to a lot of the things that are truly wrong in Illinois politics. Our politics in Chicago and Illinois is corrupt and has been for generations. There's a way of doing business that's corrupt. Some of it's illegal. A lot of it's legal corruption. What do I mean by that? They're just full of crap when they talk about the things they care about that they're going to do for people, and they don't do it. It's all a game. I can't possibly.
It's all a game, and he is exposing the game. Donald Trump giving him a full presidential pardon. Let's see, we've got, I don't think I'm going to play the Rogan clips, but we've got that swamp, we've got this one. The freight elevator, the CNN story, moving the goalposts. We got that. Okay, I thought I had another one in here. It's the Drake Hotel. Okay, just bear with me, folks. Bear with me here. Okay. Jim Pfaff, he is the one with the conservative caucus. He's the one who organized that that event at the Drake Hotel 11 hours ago. He said Rod Blagojevich was wrongfully prosecuted by the Obama administration because he didn't do what Obama demanded. This has been a long nightmare for Rod and his family. Now it's finally resolved. Congratulations, Rod. Thank you, President Trump. Here's Rod singing. Here's Mark Weiermuller, a friend of mine. This is Rod singing Jailhouse Rock, a surprise appearance by the former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich on stage singing at the Taste of Elmwood Park. Yes, singing Jailhouse Rock. How ironic, right? Okay, I think I do have another. I thought I had another clip in here. I had so many clips for you guys set up. I thought I had more. Let me just check my action, because I've got so much stuff that I've posted. It's like it gets lost sometimes, and sometimes these feeds don't always load correctly. The swamp, truth bombs, Russia collusion. Okay, maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Okay, well, okay, all right, fine. All right, well, I appreciate you guys sticking through me with this here. You guys want to see this Rogan clip? Here he is talking about thanking Joe Rogan for creating a space that allows Americans to express the right to free speech. Yeah. So here's more from that event. DJT 2024. Rod Blagojevich is one of the most intelligent and principled individuals I know. His resilience and sharp mind are undeniable. I have no doubt that President Trump will grant him a full pardon, which is what happened. And here, this was at the dinner we had. There's Rod. I was sitting a few seats over. Here is Mark and Jim Pfaff and Janelle, Jackie, and Rod. That's at the Drake Hotel.
Just pause for a moment. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You're from New York City.
This looks like a video from when they were at the. That was it. I think the MAGA rally in Washington, Madison Square Garden. I was there too. And here is Blago again with Janelle, and I think this is one of Blago's best friends. So really great news for Blagojevich. Amazing stuff. And it's all coming out. They're so terrified of his full pardon, because if he returns to public office, I mean, he knows where the bodies are buried. That's the whole point. He knows how the swamp operates. He knows what Barack Obama is capable of. He was the test case. He's said this time and time again. So, Rod Blagojevich getting a full pardon, and we are just excited for it. So we watched something extraordinary. A man who spent nearly 3,000 days behind bars, stepping into freedom and immediately exposing the corrupt system that imprisoned him. Blagojevich's revelation about Obama's early Chicago dealings isn't a historical footnote. It's a blueprint of how the political machine operates. From the freight elevator at Trump Tower to the prison floor where he watched Trump announce his candidacy, the story isn't about just redemption. It's about the exposure of systemic corruption. So here's what everybody should be asking tonight. If the Obama administration could successfully imprison a sitting governor for what Blagojevich calls routine politics, what other political prisoners might be sitting in cells right now? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and get your exclusive Mag Avengers merch at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, because the truth can't be imprisoned. All right, let's keep this party going. I appreciate you sticking through me with some of those moments there. But here's the White House live shot again, looking quite frosty in Washington, D.C. But the deep state is definitely sweating bullets. Let's check in with our super chats. Before we get to our Chelsea Clinton story, holy cow, look at this. Parmis Dax has gifted 5 new Next News Network memberships. Jessica, MWP, Chris Turner, Scottish Tart, Jay Bird, all getting memberships. And I think our Boyd I saw too as well. Wait, and did Viv B also another 5? Henry, Nancy, Danny, Anne Marie, D Rock, our Boyd doing the same, 5 new memberships. Lillian, Sean Tanner, Mad Nana, Chris Savage, and Melissa. Wow. You guys are on fire, giving out all kinds of gifts today. All right, let's continue. We got to get into this Chelsea Clinton story because it is big, big news. Big news. Okay, let me get this queued up so we have all the details for you, because this is huge news. Okay. Just hours ago, Chelsea Clinton did something that powerful people should never do when they're in trouble. She tried to explain herself on social media, and the timing couldn't be more telling. After our explosive report went mega viral, reaching millions of patriots demanding answers, she's clearly in panic mode. Her post, attempting to dismiss what she called absurd claims, has instead triggered an avalanche of new revelations. Lies and conspiracies about my family and me are nothing new. That's what she wrote. But tonight we have something that is new, documented proof of exactly where the money went, and perhaps more importantly, who was there when it was moving. And the photographs, well, those are proving particularly difficult to explain away. And you know what's interesting about power? The Clintons have spent decades accumulating it, while everyday Americans watch their power bills skyrocket. But just as we're exposing the Clinton Foundation's energy-draining corruption, we've discovered a way to drain less power from your wallet. This revolutionary device slashes your electric bills just like DOGE is slashing through Clinton corruption. Don't let the elites drain you dry. Visit don'twastepower.com and get 65% off. Take back control of your power bills while we take back control of our institutions. So, Chelsea Clinton going viral. It's happening now. Gabe Roberts posting this picture of Chelsea and Hillary Clinton in orange jumpsuits with the caption, "Hope you like the color orange, Chelsea." Now, of course, that is an AI-generated image of what we would love to see. Chelsea Clinton, I actually commented, replied to Chelsea Clinton, and with just this simple gif. A lot of people believe that Webster Hubble is actually her father and not Bill Clinton. That is the story. Maybe we should have Maury Povich investigate, right? So here's what Chelsea Clinton had to say. She said, "Lies and conspiracies about me and my family are nothing new. Still, I am particularly troubled by the absurd claims that continue to pervade social media this week. Fact checks be damned. Facts. I'm proud of the Clinton Foundation, the work that has helped tens of millions of people worldwide. Our impact speaks for itself. I don't take a cent from the foundation, never have." But maybe somebody else did on your behalf. In fact, my family personally contributes meaningfully to our work each year. Misinformation isn't just noise, it's a weapon. Efforts to undermine good work won't stop us. And we stand in solidarity with those who are committed to truth, public health, progress, and the endless potential of our future. Yeah, you can read some of these replies. I mean, look at the scroll here. I mean, everybody is just roasting her. I mean, look at it on the screen right now. Everybody. Salty Cracker, Sassafras, Brendan Dilly, Chicago One Ray, Tara Bull. I mean, look at these things. Yeah, nobody believes anything that she is saying. Mindy Robinson, what else should we expect? I mean, look at these words. Oh, but it gets better and better and better. We're not done yet. Okay, check out this guy.
Musk has been, Chelsea Clinton got what? Elon Musk has been doing his motherfucking job, making it public on what the prior administration has been spending our tax dollars on. $85 million went to the Clinton Foundation, specifically Chelsea Clinton, which I didn't know Hillary and Bill had kids. I knew they were married, but I always thought it was like a political arrangement. Like, I didn't really think that Bill... Damn. I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather smash the demon off a scary movie. Why the fuck does she need $85 million? What the fuck was you doing, baking chocolate chip cookies? Then come to find out Angelina Jolie and Ben Stiller, amongst a whole bunch of other celebrities, got paid more tax dollars. They're gonna do a photo op with Zabinski, who gives a fuck? The public think that everything is all gravy. Money went to sushi, steak, lobster, vacation. Do y'all know sent millions of dollars to make a goddamn Sesame Street cartoon? And look, I know it's for the kids, but goddamn, y'all couldn't even get Big Bird? That's some rinky-dink ass mascot. Get the fuck out of here. We don't know that mascot. Our tax dollars went to other countries. How many other countries send their tax dollars here? How long do we have to continue supporting other people? These motherfuckers said they didn't have no money for North Carolina. They didn't have no money for California. They didn't have no money for nobody. But apparently, they got $1 billion. Funnel that shit back in their pocketbook.
Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah, he's clearly not pleased at the situation. Josh Dunlap says here, Chelsea Clinton's net worth is estimated to be $70 million, while her husband is around $45 million. Their total inheritance amounts to $52 million. She receives annual funding from USAID, a budget approved by Obama for her foundation, which provides afternoon meals to children in Africa, India, and Bangladesh. Yet to date, the total number of meals reportedly served is 11,886, equating to an astonishing $1,400 per meal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everyone's, they're trolling her, right? If Chelsea Clinton has done nothing wrong, then I guess an audit is not something you should be afraid of, right? Here is Joel Comm. So no problem with an audit, right? BBM D2A. So, Chelsea, you could easily remedy the situation. Open all the Clinton Foundation books to scrutiny. Very simple. Shelley Craig, she opened a big can of whoop ass with her post. What's sad is I don't think she even understands how corrupt it is. She has lived it all her life and thinks it's normal. Okay, so she claims that though she didn't do anything wrong, her wedding wasn't paid for by the foundation, but this is the actual email that is circulating that proves it. This email was from Doug at the Clinton Foundation, and it was going to John Podesta and others, and it was sent on in 2012. And this is Doug at the Clinton Foundation saying, "I learned from the best. The investigation in her getting paid for campaigning, using foundation resources for her wedding and life for a decade, taxes on my money from her parents. I hope you will speak to her and end this once we go down this road, ... And he was responding to John Podesta and said, Podesta sent him, said, "You are perfecting your skills for understatement." And Doug had sent him previously, "I just received a call from a close friend of WJCS who said that the CVC told one of the Bush 43 kids that she is conducting an internal investigation of money within the foundation from CQI to the foundation. The Bush kid then told someone else who told an operative within the Republican Party. I have heard more and more chatter of CVC and Berry talking about lots of what's going on internally to people. Not smart." So that's an internal email of them very, very concerned about the spending habits inside the Clinton Foundation. But what do we have here? This is a famous photo. and it's been circulated for many, many years. The woman in red is Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, she's currently in prison right now, and she was the procurer of a guy who didn't do something in prison to himself. And this is, of course, Chelsea Clinton's wedding photo with Slick Willie walking her down the aisle. So, I mean, look at that. Can you answer for that? Why is she there? And now she's in prison for what she did? Donna Marie posting this AI-generated image. This is where you three belong. Right there. It looks, I can't see if, is this a Gitmo? I don't think so. But there's Hillary, Bill, and Chelsea in orange jumpsuits. Here we have another normal Bitcoiner. Notice how instead of clarifying the situation, which she could do, she just muddles the water and claims that misinformation is bad. Why not just provide the clarification? It would also be an epic slam dunk to prove Elon wrong, right? She is corrupt. Ma'am, it's public record. No amount of your virtue signaling will work. You took money. Ghislaine Maxwell was at your wedding. Your parents are knee-deep in a huge amount of corruption, and you want us to believe you did everything for free? Sure. I have a bridge to sell you. Oh, and here we have this.
Not only in 2010, the earthquake of Haiti, not only American taxpayers, but the whole world has given billions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation for the Haitians. Not even 2% of that money went back to Haiti. So, Mr. Trump, we are asking you, begging you, the Haitian community will side with you if one day you ask Hillary Clinton publicly to disclose the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti in 2010 after the earthquake. Haiti is a very poor country. Haiti needs defenders. You said you will champion our cause. We welcome you, sir, and we will work with you. But please, ask publicly Hillary Clinton, during your next debate, to publish the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti. Thank you, sir.
So you can see this guy fired up a Haitian reporter. Where is the money? He was talking to President Trump. Okay, it gets even deeper. The receipts are right here, right in front of you. DOGE found it. Take a look right on your screen right now. DOGE found it. So anyone who is trying to claim that there are lies, this is the money trail itself. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and get a little zoomed in on this. Okay, the Tides Foundation is apparently one of the main conduits here, as well as the Community Foundation of Middle, going right to Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton. Okay? Gross receipts, $83 million. Contributions, $23 million. Grants given that are visible, $1.5 million. Taxpayer funds, $17.5 thousand. But look at the money trail. Where did this $83 million come from? Follow the money. It is a massive web all over the place. I mean, it goes from this PAC to the Tide Center to the Environmental Defense Fund to NEO Philanthropy to the Windward Fund. They just keep sending money back and forth, and it eventually ends up causing quite a stir to the fact that Chelsea has to reply online. Joel Fisher saying, Chelsea, it's better to keep your mouth shut and let people just think you're stupid rather than open it and remove all doubt. And while we're here, how does it feel living in a $10 million apartment, earning $900,000 a year while this little baby goes without food in Haiti? Chelsea's parents get her a job paying $900,000 a year. Her mom talks against white privilege. Think about that for a while. Scary if true, Mr. Jack says Chelsea Clinton receives an annual recurring funding from USAID allocated by Obama for her foundation, which provides afternoon meals to children in Africa, India, and Bangladesh. Again, Reported number of meals served, 11,886. $1,400 per meal. Net worth, $70 million. I mean, real estate assets, $25 million. Monthly spends, $100,000. Car collection, $8. What has she accomplished? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Here we have Newsweek confirming the Clinton Health Access Initiative received a grant of $7.49 million from the U.S. government. Bill and Chelsea Clinton are both the board directors of CHAI. Not a single tax dollar should ever go to anything managed by the Clinton. Fact check, did Chelsea take home $84 million from USAID? Apparently so. Newsweek confirming it right there. And so how are the liberals, Alan Jacoby says, how are the liberals going to explain how Chelsea became a multi-millionaire on American tax dollars? Chelsea Clinton raked in $84 million. That is your USAID, and they are laughing at us. Here's more.
Know what else will? $84 million went to this chick right here. Everybody knows who she is, Chelsea Clinton. $4 million of that $84 million that went to her was spent on her wedding. Just on her wedding. I don't know about you, but yeah, I'm just glad that I have $400 a month to spend on groceries, much less $4 million on a wedding. Then $10 million for her mansion. And is there a reason that she can't live in suburbia like the rest of us and pay a normal housing price? Does she have to live in a $10 million mansion? What has she done to earn those $10 million? Better yet, what has she done to get the $84 million that our taxpayers lined her pockets with? What happened to that, Chelsea? I want to know. I want to know what happened to that money. I want every single penny that the USAID has spent and gone through these agencies. I want to know who the end user is. I want to know everything that was done, and I am pissed. I am pissed. I don't know about you, but you should be mad. It was already a slap in the face with unprotected borders under Biden. It was already a slap in the face with the unbelievable inflation that we've been facing. If you see any of my other posts, you know I like to talk about eggs because eggs are unbelievably high, and don't tell me it's the damn bird flu. It's not the damn bird flu. It's not the damn bird flu. Ducks aren't laying eggs. It's the chickens. It's not the damn bird flu. It is inflation. Inflation that many of you have argued with me doesn't exist, but yet it does at 20%. It is a slap in the face to know that this organization, USAID, and then this chick here gets $84 million given to her to do what with? I don't know, but we know at least $14 million went directly to her for her house and for her wedding. An insult. It makes me sick to my stomach, and I really hope, I'm sorry, they need to be in prison. In fact, they need to build a new prison just to put the politicians in, because that's how many are going to go down. That's how many they need to go down. Guys, we're no longer talking about rabbit holes. We're talking about caverns. That's how deep this stuff is running. It is deep. And we are still just scratching the surface. This is only the third week that President Trump has been in office. Let me know what your thoughts are. How sick are you? What is getting to you the most? For me, my stomach is turning over having to do my income tax this year because I know we're going to owe money because we just made that much enough to have to pay back.
Discover Digital on TikTok. Yeah, she's got some things to say. Confirmed. DOGE says USAID gave Chelsea Clinton $84 million that was supposed to go for relief in Haiti. DOGE shows $3 million was spent on Chelsea's wedding and $10 million went towards a luxury mansion. This is why Hillary Clinton has shut off your ability to respond to her posts. Josh Dunlap posting more receipts right here on your screen. Okay. There's more. Data Republican, small r. Mrs. Clinton, am I correct in reading that out of your reported $57 million in expenses, $8 million went to conferences and meetings, plus an additional 1.9 on travel. 1.9 million on travel. Here's more receipts from their public records. Yeah, it's all coming out. DOGE is uncovering it, and they can't hide anymore. The people see it. The people are absolutely furious. Now, this guy, how do you explain away all the evil your family perpetuated against needy Haitians? Only 2% of all the billions collected on behalf of Haitians ever received one damn thing. This guy.
Even more dangerous. Well, we have every reason to be mad because the Clintons have destroyed Haiti for the decades. And, you know, they pretend to be our friends when in reality they are our number one enemies. You know, there are some other people who clearly behave like they don't like us. So it's easy for us to protect ourselves against them because we know they are our enemies. But the Clintons are even more dangerous because they pretend to be our friends when in reality they're destroying Haiti.
Because I heard that the Clinton Foundation and all these other organizations gave over $6 billion to Haiti for the relief effort, especially during the kind of natural disasters that you guys have gone through. Is that true?
No, it's more than true. The money is much more than $6 billion. You see, after the earthquake, countries around the world...
That's Luke Rudkowski from We Are Change interviewing this man.
Donate billions of dollars. The amount was much larger than $6 billion. And Bill Clinton was in charge of the money. And not only people around the world, but also American celebrities donate a lot of larger money to rebuild Haiti. And hundreds of homes were destroyed after the earthquake. And if you can believe, the people are still living under tents. That's unacceptable. And not only they held the money, they kept the money, but Haiti had enough resources for them to be very comfortable. Haiti have oil, more oil than Venezuela. Nobody's talking about. Haiti have gold. We have one of the largest gold mine in the Caribbean. So, and they let the world, nobody's saying anything about our goals. Yeah. And who do you think is in charge of our goal right now? The contract. Yeah. Tony Rodham, Hillary Clinton's brother. Wow. He's got a 26 years contract. And then also Haiti we used to produce our own rice. We didn't have to buy rice overseas. Bill Clinton destroyed our rice so his brother can sell the rice from Arkansas.
Yeah, wow.
So you see how deep this goes? Oh, it goes so deep. Unbelievable. So should the Clinton Foundation have an audit? I mean, DOGE is already doing it. They're connecting the dots. Chelsea Clinton is on the defense. She's posting it. It's all just misinformation and these are just conspiracy theories. Don't believe anything. So what do you guys think? Lies and conspiracies about my family are nothing new, she says. But the receipts tell a different story. And maybe the DNA will too. So what we've witnessed today is a masterclass in how not to handle a crisis. After our previous report exploded across social media and forced the mainstream media to finally pay attention, Chelsea Clinton's attempt to dismiss these allegations as conspiracies has instead drawn attention to the very questions that she is desperate to avoid. The photographs with certain individuals she can't explain away. The millions in recurring funding from government agencies that somehow never reach their intended recipients. Her $900,000 annual salary for oversight of programs that seem to exist only on paper. But perhaps what's most telling is what's not in her statement. Any actual explanation for where the money went. So our viewers' overwhelming response to our previous expose has clearly struck a nerve in the Clinton camp. And tonight we need to hit even harder. Share this report everywhere, on X, in your private Facebook groups, in your private group chats. Text it to every patriot you know. The mainstream media can't ignore millions of Americans demanding answers. We made Chelsea Clinton respond today. Let's make her actually answer for what she's done. The truth has momentum, and right now that momentum is squarely against the Clinton machine. So here's the question that should keep the Clinton family up tonight. If these conspiracies are so easily debunked, why not simply open the books and prove it? What are they so afraid we'll find? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And stand strong against corruption with our exclusive MAGAvengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wow. That was wild, man. Okay, looks like we had some more memberships that were gifted, I think. R. Boyd, 5 more members gifted. The Hounds and I, Jake CB, Carolyn Neely, Carolyn Couch, Jamie Peace, all gifted memberships to the YouTube channel. Cool. All right. Let's check in with the chat. The veil's being lifted. Yes, Sabrina, it is. iPhones that don't have the button. What? At one time, I thought Dick Cheney was a great American. Little did I know. Says Summer BC. Favorite gas station food? What are we talking about here? They have nothing to hide then, David Gray says. Okay, we got a super chat for $5 just coming in here. Let's take a look. Any bets on how many special elections will take place in the next year to 5 years because someone goes to jail and they need to replace people? Oh, that's good. That's good. Thanks for that $5 right there in the jar. We're now at $170. Wow, $170.77. 32 new members. Let's see. Hurry up with the news, says America First. What? Where have you been? You just getting here? 8 gave you a super chat and you didn't call it out. What? 8 gave you a super chat? Who's 8? 8? Is it 8 a person? Or did I miss 8 people? What are you saying? I'm trying to look. I'm scrolling back through my super chats here. IB Rules, $5. Oh. Okay, I think I've seen some here. Useless idiot, definition of treason. Sammy K, God bless you. IB Rules, $5 because you are. Deborah Myers, I remember watching you that long ago. Thank you for bringing it back. Forgot he had gray hair. I kept thinking he looked familiar. That was an hour ago. What do you mean? Did I miss somebody? I don't want to miss anybody. 8 gave me super chats. I've gone through all my super chats, folks. So I apologize if I missed anybody, but I really do try to get everybody. Okay, let's continue and look at the main chat. Too bad DOGE won't uncover the Clintons' body count. Might want to be careful buying eggs, says Pureblood. For a little while, I feel like they're planning on something using our food supply. Eggs at the top of the list. Overeducated SP Luke rules. I owe you $1, says Nish Poke. Wakanda forever. NASA is government. Audit them. God bless you so much, Duty to Rebel. God bless you. Gitmo's waiting for them, says Bong. That was a typo, Gary. 8 is I. I don't know. What? No, you missed that one. Sorry for 8. I'm supposed to be I. Which one did I miss? Which person did I miss, though? That woman and those 10 other people in her crowd, that's to F Trump. I don't pay for eggs, says sure you. Skeptical optimist here. Patrick. Cat law. Clinton should be turned over to the Haitian government. Let that government give them their just dues. Australia and New Zealand politicians gave to their private fund too. Who was the Ghislaine date at the wedding? That's a great question. Clean up Illinois next. I gave you. Deb Myers, I gave you? I ate. What are you guys saying? Oh, I'm so confused. Let's see what you have here. Somebody said something about DC. Let's go have a beer, Gary. Paul will be with me, so bring a hammer. Oh, Nancy Pelosi's liver. You are so funny. Look in your super chats for a chat from Deborah. Did I get it? Did I get the super chat from Deborah? What? Come on, guys. You're killing me. Deborah. Oh, that one. I watched that long ago. Remember? Okay, that's the one you guys were talking about? Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Oh, let's check in with the main feed. See what's going on over there. Let's see. This is the one I want to click. Let's go to... Oh, cool, man. Dazed and Confused fans can now own a piece of movie history in Texas for $950,000. I love that movie. That's such a funny movie. We played this before. Elon Musk says DOGE will look into government officials who have high net worth while making just a salary in government. How did they get that money? Gateway Pundit 3 hours ago. Secret blue state resistance agreement leaked. Pact between 22 states resist Trump's plan to end birthright citizenship. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's find something. Let's go right to the top of the feed. Mandy says, I love the Trump-Elon power duel. That's how we make America great again. Deb dropping $2. We're all good. Now, you figured it out. LOL. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I can be a little slow. All right, I'm working on it. Deborah Myers, there it is. We're all good now. Okay, I see you. You guys killing me. Oh, man. We're at $172 right now. Thank you, guys. Viral news, New York City. Some people claim this guy was on a terrorist watch list. I'm not sure how true this is, but let's say if someone was looking for him, I think I can find him. Photographer films a migrant who has self-entitlement syndrome at the border. I think didn't we cover this a long time? Yeah, that was a long time ago. January of 24. I remember when we covered that. Andy, no. They found this person. I'm not going to play that. Maybe just, okay, here, check this out. 13 minutes ago. Maybe it's just me, but I think there's room for improvement here. Fair employment retirements are processed using paper by hand in an old limestone mine in Pennsylvania. 700 plus mine workers operate 230 feet underground to process 10,000 retirement applications a month. Here's the mine right here. And I believe that is Iron Mountain. There it is. And you guys brought that up in the chat earlier. People thought it was a joke, but it's definitely not. Okay. A great white shark. All right, folks, I need to get ready. I got to pack for DC. I got to get all my gear sorted out. And it's a big deal. What's this? Judge John McCormick, the federal judge from Rhode Island who ordered the Trump admin and DOGE to unfreeze billions, has a daughter who currently works for the U.S. Department of Education. Conflict of interest, anyone? Okay, I gotta get packing. I'm leaving tomorrow. And I'm getting a message here, something about the First Lady. Okay. All right. Wait, what is this? Another one? Operative? Did I miss something here? Super chat. Okay. Well, that's our show for tonight, and what a remarkable journey it's been. Let's recap what we've witnessed together, because it's not just news. This is a movement gaining unstoppable momentum. We started with President Trump's declaration of war on government overreach, a systematic dismantling of the bureaucratic machine that's been suffocating American freedom. In just 23 days, he's accomplished what the experts said was impossible. From gun regulations to Iran policies, we're watching the restoration of American sovereignty in real time. Then we saw DOGE's stunning revelation at the Department of Education, $881 million in wasteful contracts terminated on a single day. Think about that number, nearly $1 billion of your money being wasted on things like paying people to watch mail being sorted. But thanks to Elon Musk and this unprecedented audit, that gravy train has finally been derailed. Then we witnessed the border crisis transform into a border victory. 95% reduction in illegal crossings, the cartels in chaos, the Pope writing angry letters, Mexico threatening us with expensive avocados. But here's what matters. America is finally securing its sovereignty, and the globalists are terrified. Then there's Rod Blagojevich. From prison floors to a presidential pardon. His story isn't just about redemption, it's about exposing the corrupt machine that tried to silence him. The Obama connections, the Chicago politics, the truth they desperately tried to bury, it's all coming out now. And of course, Chelsea Clinton's desperate attempt to dismiss our viral reporting has backfired spectacularly. Her social media defense has only raised more questions, exposed more connections, and proven that our coverage is hitting exactly where it needs to hit. But none of this would be possible without you, our loyal viewers. Your super chats and Rumble rants haven't just supported the show, they've helped us bypass the mainstream media censorships. So thank you to everyone who contributed tonight. $172.77. And speaking of making history, tomorrow night will be unprecedented. We're taking the raw feed right into the heart of the swamp, broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. That's right, Patriots. After years of being kept out by the corporate media gatekeepers, we have been called to the White House to receive our official hard pass press credentials, the very same credentials they tried to deny us for years. So for those who want to help us continue this fight for truth, the donation links are in the description. Get your exclusive Next News gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below. Show the world where you stand in the movement that took back our press room. So tomorrow night, we will be broadcasting from the belly of the beast, and believe me, we're going to make every second count. The days of the mainstream media controlling the narrative in that press room are over. This is the Raw Feed. We'll see you live from Washington, D.C. as we continue to expose these stories they don't want you to hear. Here's a live look at where I will be tomorrow. My friends, history is being made, and you are a part of it. So, good night, and stay strong, Patriots.